This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
All right, what's up, everybody? So, comms, it's Friday. There he is. Had him hidden. Here we are. So we got all of us here. We got no rain tonight. Rain's out.
No rain in the forecast.
It's not a blind
like
melon
Australia.
song.
That is one. I thought Australia was getting rain.
Yeah, she's out getting some.
It's been ready for like 16 hours here.
But I'm Drayden. We got Dirk here. We got Elby. We got Brisk. We got Blazing Bunny. Delon is joining us, and Otto Bismarck and Sword Dragon are both joining us as well. How's it going, guys?
Yep.
Can we have the two Australian guys greet themselves appropriately?
Hello, I'm Sword Dragon.
Hi.
There you go.
I think
Hello,
we're looking
Mike.
for a good day.
Dirk is looking for the cultural
Good day, mate.
appropriation.
Good day, mate.
Yeah.
I refuse to lower myself to that standard.
Thank you, Otto.
I mean, like, look, we're literally the only fucking show that will bring you actual Australians when we're asking for money for Australia. It's like, it's just how we roll.
Authenticity is our
Exactly.
namesake.
We're all about being authentic. Is that not true, LB?
That's true. We're the most authentic e-players there is.
It's like right now, if we were talking about, like, I don't know, like the English monarchy, right? We would also be talking to LB from Canada.
We'd probably get Miss Moses on. And well, is Miss Moses? She lives in Switzerland.
Doesn't matter, Drayden.
Does
You
that
totally
count?
didn't get the fucking bite I was given there.
I got the joke.
I think were we going with the Megxit? We're looking for that? A Megxit joke?
Yeah, we're throwing some exit out there. You know, it's like whatever.
Damn.
Yeah.
All that being said, yes, it is open comms, and it is us. It is like guys' night, except for we still. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea where Delana, because we've got to have a woman on. That is part of the contract with INN now, that we have to have a woman on.
Her daiquiri is sitting in front of the camera. That's she played John. She just came out to put this
Louisiana
LSU
State, she's not even
cup.
going to be here for the first
Took
shot
the
of the night.
load, and she ain't gonna be on the show.
Yeah, she's.
Let me fix it. It's mirrored. Let me at least.
Don't know what she's doing, but you know what? Louisiana State, LSU, Tiger on Tiger action rolled up with some Louisiana State version Tiger that just dominated that shit. I don't know if you people saw it. I don't know if you heard about it. It's like, we've got all kinds of things going on in the world right now. We've got Megxit. We've got this shit going on over here with impeachment and whatnot. But we've got legitimate fucking college football that, and that took some center stage on Monday night.
Best mascot costume wins.
Best mascot did in fact win, because that Clemson bullshit was like some scary ass, like,
I thought Clemson was a pretty.
with some
school.
scary like
The funny thing is,
LSD, like Tigger
Mrs.
the
Brisk
Tiger
and I
shit.
watched the game. Mrs. Brisk and I watched the game, and she literally turned to me in the middle of it and says, "Aren't they going to bring a real live tiger out on the field? Isn't that what they do?"
No,
I said, no,
it's not like University of Texas with their goddamn Longhorn, or like other schools that have got like an actual legitimate
on the field.
live animal.
It's easy to get a longhorn in Texas. I don't know where you get a tiger in
Well, it is.
Louisiana.
Yeah, right.
You can get a tiger from any fucking zoo that's going out of business in America. I mean,
I guess,
that's just how it works.
Shit, somebody
True.
ate it.
Didn't somebody from LSU crowdfund it for a new mascot costume for
Somebody
Clemson?
did do that, yeah. Which somebody should have, because that Clemson shit is like, look, you won the national championship how many years now, and you can't afford a real costume for your mascot? It's like, it's just sad. It's really fucking sad.
And also, Roderick, thanks for the resub. Blast him.
That-
38 months. Roderick was 11. And
I'm gonna hold this shot until because it's only
my
fair.
wife's bringing up like the Florida Gators. Do you guys bring a live alligator on the field?
I think they do
so.
have a live alligator.
We did
over in the
whenever I
corner
went.
of the stadium.
Yeah,
Did they
have
really
one
bring a
of
live
those.
alligator on the field?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think they do have a live gator there somewhere. It's like, whatever. Whatever.
You wanna
Who
hear
cares?
some
Well,
fucked
and that's
up
not Florida
Michigan.
State. It's Florida, but yeah.
I would say
Anyway.
you
Fucked up
you
about
could bring
alligators?
a
Florida
Seminole.
State has a live Seminole person that they
No, they
bring out
don't.
onto
There's
the
no
field.
such thing as a live Seminole. Ooh,
Oh shit!
Hey.
Fuck.
Oh,
So it's opposing Seminole.
perhaps.
So there's a reptile park down south from where I live that was affected by bushfires like 2 weeks ago, and as of yesterday was actually facing flash flooding. And the problem is that they actually had to keep their alligators inside the cages with brooms because the water was coming so high they were going to swim over the top of the fences.
Which is a really good segue into what our theme of the night is, which is, can we all not fucking help Australia with the wildfires that they have going on down there that are fucking up things even for the animals and stuff? And we haven't even gotten into like the koalas drinking water out of the bottles and things like that. But like, look, Eve players, or at least Eve related or whatever. And finally, we have gotten CCP to bring back Plex for good. I personally think this is because somebody from Australia has now gone to work there. Hashtag Bam Stroker, hashtag fucking CCP convict. But yeah, they've brought back Plex for good for the first time. I think I could be wrong. Okay, so don't quote me on this. I think I'm fucking right. But since when they had the southeast flooding in the southeast United States back in like 2014 or 2015 or some shit.
2005.
No, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. Would you let me talk? I'm accurate. Semi-accurate. Anyways, it's been a while. Plex for good has not been a thing that has been around for a while. They've moved on to some other variations of getting the community to donate and things like this. But Plex for Good was a thing that was like a big deal for a certain number of years. It started off with kind of the southeastern, what was that? Like tsunami type shit over there and whatnot.
Thing.
No. Jesus Christ. It was way before that, dude.
It wasn't.
There were
was the
other
Indonesian
tsunamis.
Indonesian tsunamis.
Oh.
Indonesia, and India and those ones.
So before you were born, Drayden, there were tsunamis that happened in the world.
Right. No, because didn't they do one for Fukushima? And I think I remember that, but that was obviously way after.
Yes, they did do that.
But yeah. Well, I wasn't even playing back when they first started doing this. So
the earthquake in Haiti, yes, a few, but it has been a while since they've used the Plex for Good. And what Plex for Good is basically players can donate Plex in game, okay, by whatever way that they can come about acquiring it, whether it be they have Plex, whether they use ISK to buy Plex, or whether they use cash to buy Plex. They can then donate that Plex into this charity fundraiser, and then on behalf of us as players, CCP Games donates it to typically the Red Cross of Iceland, and then it gets translated out into the place where it has to go. So this is a way where players don't actually have to come out of pocket necessarily, but they can acquire Plex that is already in circulation or create it themselves, by buying it, of course. And give it to CCP, and then CCP will donate it at dollar value of what that Plex is worth out of their revenue stream.
It's actually pretty good. The one thing that I think probably took them a bit of time was actually that they hadn't done it in so long. And if you have to think about it, for example, the people that were working in the community team and stuff like that, when they did it last time, actually aren't there anymore. Falcon's not there, Guard's not there. So they would have had to, so far as I know, they had to go through like into the deep dark dungeon of CCP and find out how it worked and all of the rules around it.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely took some time. When it first got announced out there that they had said that they were going to do it, I immediately reached out to Convict and said, okay, look, when is this going to fucking happen? I'm like, do I need to be there this Friday? He's like, no, it can't happen this Friday. I'm hoping it can happen by the Friday after that, which is tonight, actually. He goes, but I'm not even sure about that. And, it came out tonight. So you know what? Within about I'm going to call it a week and a half of them announcing it. They were able to put this into motion. And you know what? Fuck that. Whatever I was going to do that like shot for before earlier, I want to do this shot to CCP for number one, putting back into motion the whole idea of Plex for good and being able to do it so quickly after the community basically said, hey, CCP, can you do this? So to CCP and to the people that were behind pushing this and getting them to do it, props to you. First shot to you of the night.
Shots.
I donated 1,211 Plex. Don't be poor. Donate. Go ahead.
Don't be a poor. And here's really kind of like
that, Brisk.
Here's really kind of one of the big things that we need to talk about in terms of when the last time this was done, right? There's been a whole lot of fucking talk over the course of the years about what Plex has done to the game and, of course, what Plex is used for and all that kind of stuff. But also the rise of, you know, what ISK in the game, right? You know, all that kind of stuff, right? There's a lot of ISK wealth out there that can buy up Plex and then donate to this. A lot of excess ISK that has been fed into the game by faucets that can go out there and buy up Plex and donate to something like this. You can forego your next fucking Titan. You can forego all that shit just for a little while because honestly, you made a bunch of bank. You can make more bank in a little while. You can like, you know, pretend like you don't have to have those things and do this thing now because chances are another fucking Plex for good. Let your fucking soul be cleansed by helping out the people of Australia during a legitimate human fucking time of need.
I think what Dirk is trying to say is that he has a lot of Plex on the market that he wants you to buy.
There are people out there. There are people out there that will legitimately fucking do that, right? They will buy it for $1 and they will put it on the market so that a bunch of people who have excess ISK to sop up can do that. It's like, whatever. Nobody gives a fucking shit when the end result is get as much Plex as possible into the, you know, into the fucking charity pot and let fucking CCP donate it to the Red Cross. Like,
how much
there's
do you
nothing
think we're
bad
going to
about
be
that.
able to raise from this thing? That's what I wonder.
I hope a lot.
The max that I can recall is like $140-something thousand worth of Plex. And
Yeah,
that was not the
record.
last one we did, but I think that was for Fukushima and what happened over there with the stuff in Japan.
Yeah, on the thing here, they were saying that between all the Plexes for good combined, it's been a little over 470,000 they've raised for all the events. So they aren't giving individuals for each time, but it's quite a bit.
Also, guys, if you're not Rich and Eve and you can't do it, there are multiple different places you can donate directly to the Red Cross in Australia. You can also donate directly to a few of the GoFundMes that are being run for some of the koala sanctuaries and stuff like that. So it's not just Plex for good. If you're rich or have money outside the game and not inside the game, then that's your option.
And I do totally want to throw that out there. Number one, you're obviously, look, no matter how wealthy you are in EVE Online, you probably don't have an EVE Online accountant who is, checking what your fucking tax deductible status is. So therefore, it's like, just donate whatever the fuck you want to. It's like, nobody fucking cares. However, in real life, okay, if you've got some money to fucking donate, look, don't give it to CCP to then, like, fucking donate over there. Actually go to some place like the Red Cross or something like that. Get your tax deductibility out of it and all that kind of shit. Like play that fucking game, right? Like, actually, don't throw real money into Plex to then donate just to, like, pump up CCP's numbers, pump up your own numbers, and get some tax deduction out of it.
As an aside, while we're discussing this, I would like to point out for the record that every time Delana has gotten up, she's come back with something more ridiculous to put on.
I was gonna say she put that fucking cup up on camera and then was late.
I'm not gonna fucking lie.
All that bullshit.
She had the earrings, and then she
I'm
had
looking
the
at
glasses,
Delana right now and going, I saw her like that at 4
thing.
o'clock in the morning like 3 weeks ago.
She'll change when LSU.
By the way, I know a bunch of you didn't see Delana at 4 o'clock in the morning like 3 weeks ago. I did, and she also sat there and said, "Dirk, you're a fucking dick."
She's mic'd up. She's just not talking to you people.
She's
she's probably
supporting
Well,
her
you
team.
did, but
have
like,
us
you know,
muted.
It's like fine. It's like I totally bought it. It was our moment. It was our moment in time, Delana. That being said, I'm like trying to scroll back through my decade in time notes and
Doing the
figure out.
decade in review finally.
No, is it because one of the things that I put in my early decade in review kind of thing, like, you know, were the Plex for Good moments that we had done, because I honestly believe that those were important moments for our community. And we had done these things, so it's like I'm like scrolling back to find out when I legitimately believe the last one was. And look, honestly, people can sit there and be like, "Fucking Dirk, you know what? You don't know shit. Last year we did Plex for fucking good for whatever," and it's like, "Oh shit, I fucking
Was
missed
the last
that."
one the Haiti, the big hurricane that wiped out Haiti?
I don't believe it was. Let's see.
No,
2010 was Pakistan for the flooding that happened there.
2013, I'm pretty sure, was the last one, and that was the Philippines.
Oh. When was Haiti? Because I know they did one for that too.
They didn't do one for Haiti.
Haiti was
I thought
also
they did.
2010. Honestly,
Okay.
my notes actually don't go past, you know, much past 2010, and that is only because wow, there was so much that happened during 2009 and 2010 that I just ran out of fucking time that day, and I was just like lazy as fuck. But I honestly don't believe that it has happened, and I'm going to call it right now 5 years. So legitimately proper fucking call out for CCP in the fact that it hasn't happened in a while. So therefore, I'm glad that they are willing to get back in the fucking game for this. I really
Did
fucking
Blastum
am.
just call me? Did Blastum just call me Otto? What the fuck?
Yeah, I think he did. That was
Wow.
awesome. But also, Noisy is saying the last one was Nepal, the 2015
Dude.
earthquake in Nepal.
If they don't call you Bam, can you even question that? He is the one strong Australian that like all of you now bow to.
I would have you know I bow to Larrikin, the original OG Australian. Actually, if we're going back, I bow to Nullarbor, who was the first Australian.
But still now, just recognize who you are and recognize who they are, and it's like.
And yeah, it was Nepal was.
Although to throw Otto out is a little fucking weird. I mean, like honestly, I'm not gonna.
He's not here anymore. He actually left, I think.
Where the fuck did Otto go?
Otto could only be here for 20 minutes, so he was here for 20 minutes.
What the
and he had
fuck?
to peace out.
He just sat there and said, "Hey, mate," and left.
He did. Well, hey, who the fuck can get a word in edgewise from your ass, Dirk?
He was preaching.
You know what, Brisk? I don't fucking show up anymore
I'm being
because of this goddamn. Okay, you're being honest.
I'm just saying.
Take the fucking rest of the night having your fucking.
I don't want to
night
have.
reviews.
Look, I'm perfectly happy with this, but Sort has barely said anything, and he's Australian. Otto didn't say much.
You know what? Fucking
They can
Harambe.
talk. Go ahead.
Fucking Harambe.
I want to
That's
talk
all
about
I'm gonna
Eve.
say.
Talk about this fight, or whatever
what
it
fight?
was.
Was there a fight?
The charity one.
Oh, the brawl for Bush or whatever.
Brawl for Bush.
The fucking
I really hope
Brawl
it's not
for
called that.
Bush.
That'd be spectacular.
Brawl for Bush happened, and back in the day, it would have been the Brawl for Bush, but now it's the Burning Bush. But like, whatever. It's like
We called it the Brawl for Bushfires. It was pretty good actually. We when I approached everyone to get everyone together to do it, we expected like maybe 100, 150 people. We peaked it at like I think 425 or something in local, and it went on for about, I would probably say 2 to 3 hours. I mean, we shut the stream down when Chimera lost his last ship, but people were reshipping. It was pretty awesome. There are a couple of negatives to it. One was Siege Green brought logistics and harbages, and then started fucking with people, and then NC Dot decided to bring Horde Dreads and sit shooting people, and only died right at the end. And then Horde seemed to anchor together.
Can you go back to
and not
what
really
this
shoot
was set?
themselves.
Can you go back to what this was set up as? What was it put out there for to the community?
The rules are really clear. It was basically would show up. Originally, I picked Otsasai, but then we actually talked about it in the coordinators group about doing Navola because it was 6 jumps to Jita. The rules were very simple: no FCing, no capitals unless you were throwing them away, and no capitals. Encouraged to be only battle cruisers. We didn't really care.
It was a battle royale kind of situation, right?
Yeah, free for all. Basically, everyone would warp to planet 1, which we picked because it was a lava planet and it was a planet that was on fire. So we picked that one, and then basically everyone goes. Unfortunately, we had NC show up in like 4 or 5 Horde dreads, and a lot of people complained that they just continuously get killed by them. And then we had a couple of VDD supers. In the end, at least they turned off their hardeners, so they died. But yeah, that part was disappointing. Siege Green was probably the more disappointing one. They showed up with battle cruisers and logistics, but otherwise, the whole thing was for awareness. It was like an awareness factor. It was to raise awareness, raise money, and just kind of take a day away from the Eve side and give some fun to do, especially for some of the people that I know from Eve had been affected by the bushfires.
So what were the mechanics of raising money, and how much money did you guys actually raise?
So we'll never know. The mechanics were we basically just plastered the Plex for Good everywhere, but we have no idea. We didn't pick a charity because we figured that it's an Eve event. We'll back the Eve thing, which was Plex for Good. So we just hope that the recognition that we put out in local and through all of the things that we put out that a lot of people donated, and obviously Initiative is doing one tonight as well. So we're hoping that will help. There's no real way of knowing, but we figure that we were doing good, and that's what we want to believe, I guess.
Dirk, who are you waving your hands at? Who are you shaking your fists at?
Sorry, I was right now responding out to Jewel right now. Somebody was calling me from outside the door, and I didn't want them to fucking come in and like disrupt me, and then they disrupted me, so I had to go fucking like deal with the disruption.
Was it Mrs. McGurk or was it somebody?
It was not Mrs. fucking McGurk. Mrs. McGurk does not disrupt me. She doesn't come anywhere fucking near here unless like havoc is like going down.
So who was it?
It was
Who else would it
McGurk
be?
Jr.'s friend who was down here to ask me a question on behalf of McGurk Jr.
Shit, man.
And it's like, what the fuck?
She should
This
know
is not
better.
what is out last week.
They
By
had
the
to
way,
put
if
a
anyone
prank.
was on the fucking after show, they got to see fucking McGurk Jr. They got to see it's like whatever. It's like, anyways.
I love that. I love the fact that your daughter is already instructing people what to do.
No, I know. It's like it's kind of messed up like that. Anyways, however, you set up the whole thing out there to be kind of this free for all and stuff like that, and then there's like these like rogue organizations who feel as though they need to come in and disrupt even kind of like a charity event. Is that right?
I mean, the Siege Green was definitely a disruption. They definitely came and broke the rules directly. The Horde Dreads from NC, it was. We had hoped that they would like just die fast and turn their hardeners off, but they were all running like active tanks and shit like that. So it was a little bit of a cheesing, but it doesn't really matter overall. I mean, we picked that area actually because one, it was close to Jita, and two, there was no big sob holding entities owning next door.
I mean, to be quite
So we
honest,
hope that
when
was-
you sent me the battle report today and it said Nalvula, I sat there and said, "Oh, so you wanted everybody to come there and fuck with you, right?"
No, because there's
I mean,
nobody
it's not
around.
Vula.
Like Vale and Tribute, and with Snuff gone and Vale and Tribute being held by like random small alliances, there's no one really around to heavily fuck with it. But yeah, I mean,
But it's now
NC
Vula.
obviously-
Everybody's got assets laid out in countless stations across that fucking area where it's like, okay, look, I've just got to like
next door to
jump
Jan, isn't
clone to someplace or
His-
jet clone to someplace or whatever, and I have got ships galore.
His point was that it's not like NC lives in Tribute anymore. No, the odds of whoever, I can't even think of what garbage alliance lives in Vale and Tribute right now that'll actually go en masse and it's like, oh look, a charity event, let's go fuck that up.
Yeah.
But
Plus an
but I
AU time
ultimately
zone,
come
it's not
back
like you're
to-
gonna get
I
a
ultimately
billion
come back
euros to go
this
fuck
is
it
the
up
sad,
too.
This is the sad state of things, that where it's like, even when you're having that, even if everybody else is around, you will have those people out there that like that's just what they'll do.
You're always gonna
And
have the people that.
I
don't
mean,
give a
it's
fuck
kind of
about
fucking
stuff.
sad.
You'll have
in a way,
those
but it's
people who
also
shoot
Eve.
the Eve cemetery. You'll have those people who it's the nature of the game, honestly.
Edgelord's gonna edge.
I mean, like when
I don't want to call them
times-
edgelords. Hold on. I don't want to discount the value of a legitimate edgelord.
So
A
can I just
legitimate
It's kind of
edgelord.
seriously fucking Eve though.
They
in a
have
way.
they actually
just
have
one
a
thing
badge
though,
for it.
one thing. I don't want to give these people the time of day by
No
talking
credit
about
at
them
all?
too heavily because the actual event was amazing. People had a ton of fun. I mean, towards the end, a lot of people died to coordinated groups from Horde and from Siege Green, but for the hour and a half before that, CCP showed up with we expected a couple of devs. I think there was 9 or 10 devs. Everyone had fun. Like it was amazing. Like and it was continuous. People were just coming back. We didn't really see any negative towards it at all. So we're definitely really happy about that.
Hell yeah.
I think it was really fucking cool that you were putting this on. I wish it would have happened at like a human's time of day.
Yeah, we actually. I mean,
Humans time of day.
originally we were going to do it last Friday, because it was the only time that Faulty could be there. But then when I
Was
I
it his
started dragging-
birthday again when this
Yeah, tell him
happened?
happy birthday.
when I dragged all of the other groups in to do it as well, we put up kind of a poll. I voted for Saturday night because I figured that Saturday night was probably like a better time to do it. But then they decided that they wanted to do, by the voting power of democracy, we wanted to do Friday night. So, and I mean, Initiative picked up and did their own, so I think that's pretty
You
fucking
want
cool.
to do shots of democracy?
Yeah, we do that.
We are doing ours tomorrow. It's an all-trick thing, and we're going to kill the first Zernistra in the game to die. It's going to be Dark Shines.
All right, neat.
It's going to be fun.
When is this?
Yeah,
Brisk?
Yeah, when?
so
Tomorrow.
What
it's in
time tomorrow?
F7.
Brisk,
the
Brisk
1900
and Pando
1900.
have arranged killing
Yeah,
a
1900.
Dark Shines thing tomorrow, apparently, which is to also erase what happened last year with the Moloch.
Oh.
No,
Ugh.
we'll do it that. We're trying to do something good
Wait, is
for,
it, so this
By the way,
for our
shots to
Australian
democracy.
friends.
shots?
To democracy.
But yeah, I mean the team that came together from everybody was fucking awesome. I mean, we had dudes from Goons, we had dudes from Test, we had dudes from NC, we had dudes from Horde. It was really good. I mean, and when we had Convict come in and help us as well, and we pushed it back a week initially because we wanted to get more people in, and I couldn't get everything done that I wanted to do in that time, and then Chimera stepped up and really helped out with that as well. And then
You
we
told
pushed
me
basically
420 in local, but like you said 420 in local, but when you gave me the fucking Zkill report, it was like thousands.
It's reships.
Is he because they'll reship?
No, and I get the reship level of that, but like that's a lot of fucking reship levels for even 420 in local,
I
right?
think there's a lot of
I-
people
I
stocking
gave-
ships right really close.
I
Sorry,
gave
go
2 Drakes to each of my people, and then anyone that wanted more could have more. And then I know that like NC moved in a heap of shit to Jan as well, which was great. It was phenomenal. I mean, we liaised to try and make sure that when we knew that Plex were good would go ahead, that we would be around. That was the big thing. We wanted to be around to do it just after that to raise awareness. And I mean, for a Friday night, the Australian time zone is quite big, but it's quite segregated. But the one thing I will say is that from the SOV holding groups, I would say that there was only probably about 180. So we were really happy that other groups from just randoms just came and had fun, and that was what was important. Is it?
Which
not
is always
just-
what's good
yeah.
about like holding in a place like Nalvola or even on Sasai or like whatever, right? Like it's close enough and in the most populated section of Eve to like bring those people in.
It's what 4 or 5 jumps from from Jita, so anyone
Yeah, it
that
was- yeah,
sees
6
it, that's
jumps,
like,
yeah.
oh, I want to get on this. It's not far to go grab something if you don't have something on hand in the area.
It was funny that a few people, I mean, from my group, I bought all of the Drakes that I had in Jita, and so I gave a few people some Drakes and then told them to go and go and move them ahead of time, and if you lose them, then come and get some more. The problem that we had is they'd fought in low sec, and so they came to Jita to get extra ones and started getting ganked on the way back because they were like criminals and anybody could have shoot them. So that was pretty funny.
That's Eve. That's the way it rolls.
Yeah, it's good.
That's the way it rolls. If you're a criminal up here, it's like, guess what? You get criminalized down there too. And those people also shoot you. However, why the Drake? Why the Drake?
Heavy missile.
I
Did
think it's
the-
Drake because-
I say, was this post heavy
Because
missile
well, hold on.
patch?
Was it because today that there was also a thing about heavy missiles?
No, I picked Drakes because it was Drakes. But yeah, the missile bonus.
God
was,
bless you.
was
God
good.
bless you just for that then. Like not knowing that, shit would come out even though you fucking totally knew.
Sword, what doctrine are we gonna fly? What ships do you want to bring? How about Drakes? Oh, because heavy missiles? Nah, dude, the meme is just too strong.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
have to
the
burn it.
meme
I
is
brought
way
my
too
Drake.
strong, except for the next bonus they get today.
Hey.
Clavis, thanks for the resub and Redline as well. Thanks, man. But,
This is an interesting set of patch notes too.
Thor,
Huh?
what else happened today?
Hold on. Time out, sorry, because when you sent me that Z-Kill report, like, it was really motherfucking lopsided as fuck. It's like, is
Well,
that
yeah.
really the way it was set up? Or, like shit just got thrown out on, like, a crazy Z-Kill report?
Well, I mean, it's,
Yeah, it
you,
just came out like that. You can't really pick sides. I mean, the only side that
Okay,
was on
all
its
right.
own side
Because
was,
when you
was,
sent it to me, there were two sides, and I'm sitting there going, "Wait, that's a lot of fucking efficiency on one side."
well, yeah, it's a free for
And I
all.
recognize
Unfortunately,
that
Z-Kill
Aeon
doesn't
was
really do
involved
anything.
and all that, but like,
Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I think the whole idea of the event and everything that went on was fucking awesome. I can't say anything. I mean, the overall support from the EVE community and from everybody willing to like put down tools and stuff was probably really good. And I hope the one tonight or tomorrow night is the same.
All I know is that Init's doing something. I don't know what time.
Yeah, I have
It's a
no
Shoot
idea what's
Panda
going on
thing,
here.
So what are you guys doing, Brisk? Like, what's the? Is it an Init meant for like Init members to kill their own guy, or is it a thing for everyone
it's
in EVE to
never
come out
about
to?
killing our own guy, motherfucker.
I thought it was
We're
like
all
something like Shoot
bringing
Panda.
trig ships to get a kill on the first Zernitra that's going to die, the first Trig Dread, and it should be fun. I've seen his tank. It's kind of crazy for a Dread. It's going to be interesting to see how long it takes, but I'm looking forward to doing it. Hopefully, I can bring my own Zern, whatever the hell it is, if I can ever get it fitted in time.
Zernitra.
Yeah, I just got one yesterday. So.
If you want it to
But
die,
you still
why
don't
does it
know
need
its
to have a
name?
hit on it?
Huh?
He said if
If
you
it's-
wanted to die, why fit it?
Or why not just meme fit it with something funny?
Well, I think he wants it to last long so we can get a lot of people on it. So I think that's kind of the goal.
Is this event posted somewhere? Because I mean, I would show
Yeah,
up for
check
sure.
it out.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's-
seen it
it's,
on Reddit.
I'm off tomorrow.
It's
I'll
on
come
the
Shoot
forums.
Panda.
It's on. I'll pull up the link on the forums.
It's 1900 in F7C, I think it is.
1900. Okay. It's 11. That's actually not too early. Nice. Yeah, I was dumb because I saw the
You saw the
Brawl-
ping to go kill.
the brawl for I saw the brawl for Bush post. I was like 11:30 Eve time. Actually, that's like right before the show. I could do that because I'm thinking on non-military 12-hour increment time. So I'm like 11:30. That's like 2.5 hours before the show. I can make that.
No.
Yeah,
That didn't happen, Drake.
it didn't happen. Didn't happen. I got home and I'm like, when's this fleet? Oh, it was 8 hours ago. Fuck me. Okay, never mind.
But look, no matter what the fuck we talk about, no matter how fucking lame it is between now and the end of the night, all that fucking matters is we are asking. We're not asking you guys actually to, like, you know, kick in and, like, you know, have this fucking ticker go up here in this fucking show. It's like, that's not how fucking ballsy this is. We're trying to implore you to go out there and, like, reach into your fucking pockets and, like, donate to Plex for Eve. Plex for Good. Plex for Australia. Plex for whatever the fuck it is. Buy some goddamn Plex and, like...
And the thing is, you don't even have to.
Hold on. Time out. Yes, this comes out of your fucking, like, ISK ass wallet. Yes, this comes out of your pixel ass, like, ass. But, like, really, what it comes out of is CCP's fucking money. All this fucking money comes out of their fucking ball sack. Okay?
Last time someone pushed this hard, they were like selling a mobile game.
Oh.
This all comes out of them. This is not like you're not going to feed your children or anything like that unless you're from fucking... Well, never mind. I can't... It is about you have got a bunch of wealth in this game that you can convert into, in some way or another, Plex. And once you get that fucking Plex, you can donate it. And you can make CCP pay it. And maybe what you're saying is, but I don't want to make CCP pay it because then they won't have as much money to fucking develop the game. No, fuck that shit.
Hey, Dirk, you
They
know who's
will.
here?
They'll still be
Make
able to
them pay.
fucking
Make them
develop
pay.
their game. Okay?
They'll be okay.
Guarantee the
It's a
Hypernet is
massive-
making them
it's a-
plenty of fucking money.
It's a
Don't
massive
tell him
tax
I
write-up as
can't
well.
have another big fucking steak this year because you
It's-
didn't pay to put out a fire.
It's a massive
In
tax write-up as
Australia.
well. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, Dirk, you know who just showed up in chat?
I don't know who just showed up in
Raiden.
Raiden, but Manifest
What?
is here.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I miss you, Manifest. I'm saying that without being hyperbolic. I miss you.
Yeah, what's up, man?
There are reasons why I miss you, but like I just want to say I miss you.
We all miss him.
But again, guys, if you
not crazy reasons.
if
or like
you are,
anything that
like-
people are thinking. It's because you were slick as fuck. You were like cool as fuck. It's like I love you, Manifest.
to be the like kind of devil's avocado about this, even if you can't donate, like if you
I
can't,
heard what you
please,
did there.
please show up to the events.
To Manifest.
It's very important. It's very cool. It raises awareness. The bigger the event, the more people talk about it, the more people that can donate will donate, and everything helps. I mean, the problem that's happening in Australia right now is a lot of the fires are going out, but the reason they're going out is because of rain, and because of the heavy drought, the rain is actually causing mass flooding.
Oh.
And so a lot of the places that have had problems with bushfires now are getting flooded out. And anyone who knows anything about droughts, if you don't get consistent rain and you get a lot of rain instantly, it just washes straight over the top of the land and
Doesn't
mass
help.
floods. And so
Those of us here in the United States completely fucking understand how that fucking happens, especially out in California where you've got wildfires and then all of a sudden, we've got drought and then wildfires, and then all of a sudden the next year you've got monsoon fucking kind of like, rains that just wash everything out because there's no longer any foliage there to be able to stop the rains and everything else.
You bless the rains down in America, huh?
I would doubt that
Bless
all
the
of Australia- all
rains
of America
down in
knows about that.
America. Australia. I'm just not
Yeah,
gonna fucking sing that.
it's-
I'm not gonna sing that the same way I would have if I thought it was funny at the beginning of my singing that sentence.
The drought got really bad here that my in-laws nearly ran out of water just before Christmas, but we've had 16 hours of rain the last 24 hours, so it's pretty good.
I think it is really cool that honestly, I really do. Like, no fucking jokes. I think it is really fucking cool that we have got a community that is so fucking global that we can reach out to any part of the fucking world that is having a fucking moment. I'm not saying this is a fucking moment for Australia. Like, it may have been like, all global warming and all that kind of fucking shit. I'm not fucking saying that. But we have a community that is willing to, like, reach out and, like, deal with this shit. And again, I want to thank CCP for this thing, Plex for Good. Because honestly, you motherfuckers can actually donate money anywhere
Without even having to donate money. That's the
easier,
thing.
way
You don't have to donate
easier
out of your
than
pocket.
fucking Plex for Good. It's like, but they're giving you a mechanism for, like, how can you raise money in a pixelated form in game and translate that into fucking donations. They're giving you that mechanism. There's nothing else I fucking know out there. Honestly, there's nothing else I know out there that is like this. Where it's like, they're letting these other motherfuckers over here just like tap a fucking asset of money to give to a, whatever the fucking portion of the world is.
Yeah, and
I
the
also
sweet thing is,
gotta
like,
give CCP credit too, because in the end, this is their profits that they're taking and donating.
We can
on our
break
behalf.
them. And I don't want
Well,
us to
in the
break
end,
them, but we could. If all of you would just donate all your is to buying up all the Plex and donating it.
In the end, they don't have to do this. So that was
Right, this
that's
is-
No,
the
they
big
don't.
thing.
That's
No,
the
they
best
don't.
part.
right, and then I like how they there was a bunch of people throughout the community that were calling for this, and it was CCP Conflict that came out and basically said, hey, we've heard all you guys wanting this to happen, so we are going to do it. So it's great to see that CCP sees that everyone wants to help in this way, and they're like,
I
yeah, let's do it.
legitimately
And so
read.
that's really
I
cool that they did that.
legitimately read their fucking public release, press release out there. Okay, about how they were doing this. I wanted to make sure that there was no fucking bottom to this. Look, I don't want us to bankrupt them. I do want us to do everything we fucking can, because between now and the last time that they fucking did this, there is a huge buildup of both Plex and ISK out there, okay, for us to be able to fucking blow out everything that fucking happened since the last time that they fucking did it.
And you don't even have to spend money out of
I'm
your
not
pocket to
saying
donate.
that
You
we
could just
shouldn't
spend
hold
your
some
time and
shit in
effort in
reserve,
the game,
but
farm some
still.
ISK, buy the Plex, and then donate it that way. And you don't even have to donate that much. That's the thing. I think 100 Plex is the minimum.
100 Plex. 100 Plex is the minimum.
So even if you don't
is
have
the
that
minimum
much,
that they're asking for. But honestly, if you rolled up 99 or like 57 and a half, it's like they'd take it.
I mean,
Well, the good thing is that they introduced these new sites as well, and the sites, because they drop shield slaves, there's a lot of people buying them right now. So there's actually a high amount of money that you could make if you go and do those sites and sell the stuff. So there's a even better chance of making more money, which you can then donate if you decide to.
Mrs. Briskerball, I'm not trying to break them. I am just trying to say to everybody fucking out there,
I want you to
people,
break something, Dirk.
We have talked about unlimited faucets in EVE Online for a long fucking time. We have talked about all this shit regarding Plex for a long fucking time. There are a bunch of you motherfuckers out there who have got a lot of motherfucking ISK that you have got nothing better to do. Honestly, because if you're still sitting on it and you know that you've got nothing better to do, you got nothing better to do. Then buy Plex. I don't give a shit if you run it the fuck up through the goddamn roof. Okay? Buy it. And then
I think what would be more
donate it to a
entertaining-
good human fucking cause.
I think it'd be more entertaining is they're not going to break CCP, but they'll break the Plex market, and that could be really cool to see. But at the same time, it's actually pretty bad for the future of the game.
Exactly.
It'll come
You know
back
what?
down.
That's a really good point. You can break the Plex market. You can fuck that shit up. You can be the manipulator that you always wanted to be. You're not going to break the company. The company is going to be the company. Okay? It really fucking is. But thank them. God bless them for, allowing you to actually fucking do that. Because honestly, they opened themselves up to that potentiality. Let's fucking do this.
If they're willing to do it, make it epic. It's like anytime a company comes out and says they'll match donations, like, all right, you said it.
You ready for this?
I'll take as much dick as you have times two.
That's the one
Whoa,
thing that
I didn't mean
it would have
that.
been nice if they did something like that, like they said, hey, we'll match whatever is donated. I think that would have gotten more people to give.
No.
But I understand they don't do that.
Hold on. Time out. Somebody brought that up in one of our back channels earlier this week. Why is CCP not fucking matching? The fact of the matter is that every real world dollar that comes out of this is out of their fucking revenue stream.
Yeah, they are matching it in a business sense. They're matching it by the fact that they're taking a value of a currency from the game that doesn't actually have a real world money value to then making a monetary value out of it. But
all of it has real world monetary value attached to it coming in. How it is accrued by the person who donates.
But for that Plex to exist means
it doesn't have monetary value. It has value for what can be sold, but it doesn't have monetary value. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to believe that Icelandic law does not let these guys take charitable donations as a tax deduction.
Yes, of course they can do charitable donations on a dollar per dollar fucking basis. Do you even understand accounting?
So the point is, I'm saying that it would have been nice if they would have done a match or something. I bet we could have got more money out of them. But I understand why they didn't do it.
Let's see what happens first. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's up to them. I think that they wanted to. They also, as a company, probably didn't want to make it about them. They wanted to make it about the players. And so if they say we're going to match everything, everyone will be like, oh, they're trying to take the
but even
sting
if
away.
It's just about the fucking players. It's about them.
All right.
Okay, so baseline, it's about them.
The chat is saying CCP is matching by reversing our Plex. They're not doing that.
Exactly. Yes, they fucking are.
No, they're not. They already made their money on the original Plex sale, taking the Plex back. They're just
zeroing it
what
back.
The value is.
And then taking the amount of money they made and sending that much money as a charity.
All those revenues that were associated with that. Okay, doubling it only means that it is like double on their fucking nuts.
But here's the thing: you're saying that they already made the money. But if you
do that,
if
you
buy,
they already made their money.
That'd be cool as fuck.
we don't even know what the exchange rate is going to be, what they're going to take, because Plex costs different amounts. So
If you think about it, they're taking
500,
I don't know.
500
My
Plex
fucking
is
Plex
$14.95.
costs like $14.95 per.
Right, or 7,000 Plex is something, whatever. So they're going to take it at the 500 level. So you're getting the most amount of money.
Let's
out of
assume for a moment.
I don't know.
Hold on, and I don't
know.
want to get into
So-
fucking financials.
Yeah, I don't wanna get into the
Like,
nitty-gritty.
I don't want to get into it. Look,
let's
I'm
assume
not-
that
I'm
it is
not- I don't
like
wanna
at the
jump down.
max kind of fucking like bundle that you can buy. Whatever. They're giving people out there, they're giving players out there the ability to take the ISK that they earned in game, okay, and
Thank you,
convert
Captain
that into
Obvious.
Plex.
We know what
and
the
then
fuck they're
donate
doing.
that shit.
I'm
It's like quit
asking
looking
about-
a goddamn gift horse in the
I'm not looking
fucking
at
mouth
anything.
and
I'm
like
saying,
being like.
Dirk, what I'm saying is, I'm wondering exactly how much this is going to cost CCP. Because in the end, it's probably not going to cost them a fucking dime, which is why it's easier for them to do it. Which is what I'm saying is, hey, it would be nice if they would match it.
dimes. In the grand scheme of fucking dimes, it's going to cost them a whole bunch of fucking dimes.
I don't know that. How do you know that?
Because I know that they're taking a whole bunch of shit
guys, it
that was
doesn't
in
actually matter.
circulation before, and they're fucking zeroing it out, and on the fucking accounting books, it's going to fucking cost them.
I think the
understand
point of
that
this
it doesn't
that we're
matter,
all
Sword. I'm
missing.
simply
Yeah.
speculating and to have something to talk about, and I mainly just want to yell at Dirk and yell at him because he's being very loud today.
Because
Rain's not
I
here to
I
play
am
the soundboard.
so fucking happy that
Brisk
they have
who has a
fucking done
soundboard.
this. Like, honestly, Brisk, I don't know where you've
What?
been for the last fucking 10 years or whatever.
I've been here.
It's
Where
like-
have I not been?
This is something where it's like they haven't done it in a fucking while.
I know
And
they
I'm
haven't.
so
They haven't done
glad
it since
that-
2015. I'm
glad
not
that they're
arguing.
pushing this out.
I'm
with the
not
fucking players.
arguing.
This is
Look.
not. This is not us asking for people to chime into a goddamn fucking internet fucking like donate to this kind of
Okay.
thing. This is them.
This is not a telethon for Plex for Good. We're bringing it up. We're talking about it. I've already donated. How much have you fucking donated, Dirk?
Now we're gonna
That's
now
what I
we're-
fucking thought.
Now
So don't
we're-
give me any bullshit about
No,
this. I did at the
shut
beginning of the
your
show.
fucking
I'm
mouth.
simply talking about.
Hold on,
I
time
wonder
out,
how
time out.
much is
I
actually
literally
going to
have-
get
I literally have to
donated,
say in
and
a
I wonder if we're ever
I
going to
literally
find
have
out.
to say.
That's
I
all I want
literally
to
have
know.
to say in a calm voice.
So what'll happen?
Shut your
like the
fucking
last
mouth
times?
about what I've donated for Plex. What
I don't
I've
know
do-
what you have. I asked
what
you.
I've-
I
what
told
I've
everybody
do-
I
what
donated
I've
1,211. I'll send
what
you the
I've do-
freaking picture of what I did.
What I've donated in cash is also relative to my own fucking tax bracket in America and how I can fucking like actually benefit from that at the same time.
So the one thing that I'll say is that what happened last time is that they'll generally tell you
Because
the
I'm
amount
smart.
that they download. That they donate, and they'll probably do like a photo thing again that they did with the Red Cross last time. So I expect that's probably what will happen again this time, hopefully.
What
I'm
was the
looking
photo thing
forward
they
to
did
seeing
last
how
time?
much we actually end up, what the players end up donating, and what actually gets donated from CCP. I would like
If
to
you
see.
Now, this is
Especially
one of the things that we
considering how
talked
much-
about here earlier today. Okay, about fucking donations, right? It's like, look, I don't give a shit how fucking rich you are in game. Please donate to them. Okay, donate. If you want to go like spill some like wealth off into that, it's fine. However, if you're somebody who wants to throw actual real money at this, I'm only going to talk from the United States sense of the fucking matter. Okay. Look, if you itemize your deductions, you do not go and buy Plex and then fucking donate it. You donate it to the Red Cross and you claim your fucking deduction because that's how it fucking works. I want to fucking say that to people out there that you have ways of helping out where it also, like for the money that you're fucking throwing up. However, if you are a motherfucker who is out there mining and selling your goddamn Scordite for fucking ISK, you could take a whole bunch of that fucking ISK and buy some Plex and then donate that shit. Like, there's a way of doing it. There's
Yeah, 'cause,
all
I mean,
multitudes of ways.
With the inflation of Plex and everything since 2015, I'm very interested to see the amount that they come up with. But I'm pretty sure it'll be somewhere where around 1.5 or 2 of what was of 2015, I think.
People can tell me go home, you're fucking drunk, motherfucker. Please, okay?
You are home.
If If your busted ass could fucking understand how fucking tax law works, suck my fucking dick. How about that?
Well, weren't we going to have to try to do Drayton's taxes for him today because he couldn't figure it out?
I actually I filed my taxes on like January 1st.
I want people. I want people to fucking understand how they can most.
I don't need it. I
just fucking humanity.
I take my last.
And if that is by way of you going out there and mining score date and working off of somebody else's fucking ass, then fucking do it.
No, I
just find a way of working that shit.
I take the last pay stub for. At the end of December, and I just use that as my W-2 because all the other I use one of those online tax filing sites.
But those are not. But that's never right, dude. You're
leaving
money on the table. It's not right.
Not usable.
How is it not right?
Because you're not going to know what you're not going to know what your Medicare and Social Security stuff is officially.
Yeah, because I get year-to-date deductions of all those on my.
Shut the fuck up.
I am so tired of
broke-ass
motherfucking gamers. Like, seriously, you
Dirk
broke-ass motherfucking
Dirk,
bitches.
shut the fuck
we
up.
don't fucking understand how, like,
Dirk.
different parts of the world
Helby,
fucking
play the
work and
thing.
shit.
Dirk, okay, look. To clarify something, what Alpha Bunny said. All right, well done.
He's
Like,
not even there.
The Alpha Star Bunny thing that was said in chat. Go fuck yourself. The government has literally nothing to do with where this money goes. The people who have lost their homes, the people who have lost lives, the people who have to rebuild, you can go fuck yourself. These people need that money. And to be honest, the government is fucking these people over. And it should be the government's job to fix it. There should be the government's job to fix that. But saying that nobody should get money or send money to these charities for that, no matter what you feel about charities, is fuck off and fuck yourself and suck a goddamn motherfucking dick.
I want to point out that that's not me, by the way.
I know it's not you.
Just letting everybody know.
I'm also pretty sure it's not Alpha Star
It's
Pilot.
not Alpha Star Pilot.
It's not
either.
All right,
XP
Drayden.
either.
This
I know
is
who it
some
is.
other
Fuck
guy
this shit.
who's an edgelord.
10 billion ISK, I'm giving to you, Drayden.
You want me to buy?
Speaking
Otherwise,
of,
yeah,
you want me to buy
I
Plex
think
with that
that
and,
needs to be
and
said.
donate it?
Dude, you know what? Honestly, Drayden, keep it, fucking donate it. I don't even fucking give a shit now. I've already given a fucking $1,000 of the goddamn relief down there. It's like, I don't give a shit. All these other fucking monkeys need to shut the fucking mouth out there in goddamn Twitch. But I am also giving you 10 billion ISK to fucking donate
If you
to
get,
this
yeah,
shit.
if
One
you give me
thing
10 billion,
to-
I'll go
to,
buy
There
Plex.
you go. Good boy.
So one thing that a lot of people, there's a misconception of that we were talking about in the pre-show, and I think we talked about it as well. It came out from the conservation, like people that actually look after the koalas and stuff, that everyone was like, oh, it's so cute that they're getting water like poured in them from bottles. That actually potentially can kill the koalas. So, because they're not used
Stop
to...
feeding koalas, is what
to,
you're saying?
Not from
No,
bottles.
I mean,
from
that's
bottles.
Not like
Put
from
it in a
like
bowl.
they get their own like water source normally, and so it's not that they can't, they need water. So if they're getting fed, but they actually said that a lot of people, like, if you're deliberately going out, oh, there's a koala there, I need to feed it with a bottle of water to get my Instagram fame or my video on Facebook, it actually is not a good thing. So that was just
That
something that
sounds
was
about.
interesting
That
that
sounds
came out.
about right.
It's just
Oh,
due to
dude,
the
this is
chemical
launch
Breaking
Breaking work
breaking
anymore?
news: Instagram influencers do selfish shit for
Probably-
themselves.
You're probably having to
Right.
download a patch right now. If you can't log in yet, it's
Dude,
probably
I'm not,
downloaded.
because I was already in there like before the fucking patch happened, and I had to do that. It's like whatever. I was like totally fucking joking.
Oh,
Dirk doesn't log in unless there's a fucking patch.
That's a good joke. So, Dirk, did you say this was caused by global warming? Because I'm gonna make fun of you if you said that.
Look,
You-
I don't believe
hold
it's
on now.
caused by
Does
global
Brisk
warming.
Revolve
I
not
think
believe
that
in
maybe
global
it's
warming?
exacerbated by higher heat temperatures in the world that cause a higher ignition point or a lower
So
ignition
guys-
point or like whatever the
Aren't
fucking
this-
ignition
so
point
didn't-
is.
didn't-
Things
didn't
need
people
to
start these
fucking
fires?
happen.
Okay. So this okay. So arson is a thing. However, the reason why these fires were so bad
I didn't say arson, dude.
is no. Let me finish.
I believe
a
in
lot of
global
the
warming.
fires,
I'm making
a lot of the
But
fires.
do you remember that night when arson
Hang on.
happened?
Can I finish it so people don't think I believe in this all arson? A lot of the fires were created by lightning. The reason that they were so bad is because for the last 10 years, and this has nothing to do with climate change, the last 10 years, the government has been listening to a vocal minority who has been stopping listening to
Whoa,
the
whoa.
RFS. which is the
they're not
so
paying.
the rural
They're
fire.
not paying for fire.
It does. It has not. It has less to do with that. The volunteers will volunteer for their own. They would love to get paid, but for a long time, the RFS, which is the Rural Fire Service, has been wanting to go out and do things like backburning, clearing things out, and the vocal minority convinced the government that that's not a good thing, and there were laws and put it in place.
Can we just say
And so a
that
lot of the
they
forests.
convince people?
So
Why do we
a
always
lot
have
of
to
the-
say that they're a vocal minority? Why do we always have to say that they're
Because-
like a
Because that's what they
non-vocal
are.
majority?
It's like
Because-
anti-vaxxers. It's like
because-
fucking
No, no,
idiots
okay.
who go on
government-
Facebook and
the
fucking run
government
their mouth about
convinces
shit they know
people.
nothing about.
Let him
in our
talk.
country, that is what they got called. It's a vocal minority. I don't care what it is in America, but there's a vocal minority that had an influence on the government. It has nothing
What
to
if
do
they
like,
were just
the-
some dudes
Shut
in the fucking
fuck
corner?
up and let me finish this. This
Let
is
him finish, you fuck.
the climate change part is its own issue, and that's something that should be dealt with. But when it comes to the fires like this, the hope is that the government will listen to the RFS, who have years and years and years and decades of experience with this kind of stuff. And that's why the fires got so bad, is that the backburning that is normally done in Australia is not done. So shit moved like incredibly fast. But the climate change is its own part of this discussion, and something that I'm sure would be importantly done. But as we had on at the start of the stream yesterday, we had a guy from the RFS come on and explain things that, for example, 6 of the fires that happened around him were lightning strikes, either single strikes or multiple strikes at once. That's not to say that arson doesn't happen. It did happen in my state before Christmas. 4 of the fires were lit by teenagers and young adults, and those were, they dealt with them as they could. But it's not to, like, both sides happen, but trying to say that it's like only arsonists is bullshit.
Can I ask you guys an Eve-related question?
Please, that'd be nice.
Okay, because I want to roll this back to Eve for a second. So when I highlight Drayden's name, like, why is it only coming up being like, I'm on Twitter and they're like, who do you want to fucking check out? And it's like, but it doesn't give me his fucking name.
What are you talking? Where are you searching in the game? Are you searching?
I'm in
Where are you
fucking
searching?
game right now, bro, because I'm about to like roll some fucking ISK over to Drayden and have him buy me some shit and then like, pimp it.
You
I
gotta
have been
go into
seeing
people
some,
and characters and do the search for Drayden.
So like in
You
a
can go
so
on
like
the
in a
search-
text
the search-
chat, I can't fucking just roll up his name and like right click it and be like, "Yo, motherfucker."
No.
No.
Go into the search bar.
Is
type
that
in
new?
Drayden.
Is that like
The
new in the
Drayden
past
Torva
few days
log.
or some shit?
No, you've never been able to do that.
Oh,
Yes, you have.
don't
Yes, you
tell
have.
me I haven't been able
When?
to do
Have
that because
been
I
able-
totally
yeah,
did it
so-
when I gave
so you-
20 billion away not long ago.
You highlight the person's name, right click, and then hyperlink it. Like there's a button you can press. But there has been problems with the searches recently. I know a
I've
few bug reports
I've
on
only
it.
got copy all like when I say it's like out on Twitter and like shit like that, it's because like I've only got copy all, copy selected,
you got-
selected with formatting.
Oh, okay. So that
Oh no,
right
no,
click
hold on,
menu
time
is
out,
gone.
time out. I just deleted a motherfucker. Okay, hold on, time out.
Dumbass, click auto link.
link character.
Yeah,
There
or
you
link,
go.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's what I was
never
gonna say.
mind.
The right click
Y'all go
menu
on.
is
Y'all go
gone.
on with what you doing. I'm giving it to this. You know, I'm gonna pick the first fucking Drayden I think about.
Some random Drayden's about to get money.
Dude, there's a bunch of fucking Draydens out there. I'm not doing that.
I'm upset that I am not in Drayden's bio.
Dude,
Does Drayden even know how
I'm
to
not even
edit his
in his
bio?
fucking bio. Have you seen his bio?
He's got Big Country in there. He's got Rain in there. He's got Elise Randolph. He doesn't have you in there. He doesn't have me in there.
I'm not even fucking in there. Does he have CCP Denny's?
He's got CCP Manifest in there.
Okay, that being said, you know what, Drayden? I said before 10 billion. Fuck it, you're getting 20. Now go buy me some shit and like feed some shit out there.
Send me 20 billion ISK. Drayden's not even at his desk. He doesn't even know what you're doing. He's not even here.
I'm just trying to count commas and zeros right now. Shut the fuck up.
Count 9 zeros.
It's 8 zeros.
That's a big number for Dirk. No, I'm
Oh,
just I'm
shit.
kidding.
I do 9.
I'm
hit
kidding.
fucking, hold on. I hit fucking enter. I thought it was on the memo line. I didn't count the zeros yet. Whatever. Dude,
Drayden gets
if
1
it-
ISK.
if it went through, fucking eat it, Drayden. Like, fucking feed that shit out there. Buy me some goddamn, like, brush fire money.
Oh god.
Drew's gonna be like, why did I get 100 ISK?
Yeah, he's
I
gonna.
know. I'm a fucking,
he's gonna
I'm a
think,
fucking douchebag. I don't give a shit.
There
I
you
call
go.
it brush fire money, but whatever. Because it's EVE Online. It's like, how can you not call ISK right now brush fire money? What are you gonna fucking do with it? You gonna wake up tomorrow morning and what? Build your fucking Keepstar? No. Honestly, most of you people are in the Imperium right now, and you live and fucking breathe what shit is on this fucking channel. You're gonna be out there and just be like, no, you know what? I'm gonna collect
Watch
my
out.
fucking SRP for fucking ship I lose. It's like, just throw some shit. You can earn more later.
Watch out, Dirk is
Because
breaking the
nobody's
Imperium
beating the
fourth wall
Imperium.
right now.
Throw some fucking money out there in a way that will make CCP fucking put cash on the table. Or not.
Speaking of
There's only so much I can say about that. It's like,
speaking
and
of Eve,
I'm sorry for
I
those
heard,
of you who
you
are
got
like, you know what,
reset, Sort.
fucking Dirk's a madman.
yes,
Like,
can we talk about like Eve stuff now? Are we done?
Yeah, we can
Are
we can
done?
talk about it. We can talk about how NC couldn't beat us in our own time zone, so they had to bring another coalition.
I mean, I'm
Oh,
sure all
shit.
45 of our Aussies are really insulted by that.
Oh, you
shit.
mean Siege Green, who's also deployed with the Pandemic Horde
That shit
or
is
BBV?
fucking wild. I don't understand how the Siege Green thing happened. I remember just getting a ping about it the next day, and they're like, "Hey, by the way, we're blue to Siege Green now." I'm like, "What the fuck? Since when?"
That's Dan has a good connection with them.
So, all right. So, who's
Oh.
up north? We got NC Dot. We got Pandemic Legion. We got Pandemic Horde. Now we have Fraternity.
Well,
and Legacy.
so
Sort of,
not
is
to
there
split
anybody
hairs.
that's not fighting you right now?
So
Goons.
not to split hairs or anything, but I think right now it's still a SIG deployment. Like Horde doesn't live in the north right now, but the SIGs do. Don't get me wrong.
I hate to
subject
break
to
it to you,
change, but
Drone Regions is the north of the game. Just splitting hairs.
oh
as we
come
are.
on now. That
You
doesn't
said we're splitting
count.
hairs, so.
But
I mean, so it started off as an NC versus us thing, and it kind of escalated from there. I mean, we were at the point of a de-escalation just before Christmas, and then initiative came up, and then it kind of escalated again. And then
So Sort Alpha's saying that because Horde's in Clavalava, that's not the place. You're right next
Clavalava?
door to them.
Kavava lava? What'd you just
Clavalava.
say?
It's
Clavalava.
Kalavala.
Clavalava lava.
Lava.
Kalavala.
That's pretty good.
Kill
They're
boss.
I would
next
actually-
door.
since
How
I
come
don't
you
actually
say
get a whole lot of
Clavalava?
it-
You guys were in fucking jump range of their territory, and you guys.
by the
are
way,
saying that
by the
you're
way,
not.
by the way, motherfuckers, it's Kalavala. Jesus
Kalevala.
fucking Christ.
Klavkalash.
Clavalava lava.
Club
So since I don't get a whole lot of
Baklava.
exposure to the other side,
Baklava.
what's the test
Shawarma.
front looking like right now?
So Tess is down south killing the Stain Keepstar and Stain entities. We expect them back. I mean, we expect them back within
The
a certain
stain
amount of
what?
time.
I
Keepstar.
don't even know why they're wasting their time doing this. I feel like
Because so before I called them out, like obviously the reason like Test had mellowed out after Villy's post, and then I went on the meta show and kind of like threw the gauntlet, which
thank you for
in
that. That
hindsight-
was a good show.
in hindsight it was a great show, but in hindsight it's probably best to finish one front before opening another front. But they wanted to kill the Stain Citadels. They've wanted to do that for a while. Their members have wanted to do that for a while because Stain has a lot of really good moons, and so they wanted to go and do that. And then so they're in Stain killing that stuff while also preparing new doctrines and everything like that. If you read Pro Gods update, so I expect that to happen. I think the thing is now this game, I think Dead Coast Space has become a proxy location for the next big war.
Again.
No, yeah. Again, I mean, I guess.
Y'all are
I would
effectively the
always put-
Iraq of EVE Online.
Yeah, I would prefer that things de-escalated. I mean,
I'm
we
like,
had
really?
quite a lot of fun.
Really, in the grand scheme of fucking the nullsec, they're just not Iraq.
No, it's because
So-
it's where the next large conflict will happen.
They may be Kenya, but they're not fucking Iraq.
So I mean, the thing is that it's we had a lot of good fights against NC, and I mean NC had a lot of good fights against us. It's escalated, and it's going to keep escalating. I don't see it de-escalating anytime soon. I mean, we're not exactly ready to give up. We will have Fraternity. Fraternity's decision to reset us was kind of a weird one, because we've been allies with them longer than PanFam has actually. For probably 5 years. Ranger Regiment used to be a part of Winter Coalition, back when Wind Spirits was the leader. This is literally just a power grab by one of the Chinese entities trying to swallow all of the other Chinese entities. I don't know how it's going to work out, because NC's biggest ally right now in the time zone, VVV, absolutely fucking hates Fraternity, like heavily hates Fraternity. So I don't know how they're going to manage to work together. So, but the plan for Fraternity is they're going to attack Branch. So we'll be fighting on 3
Home
fronts,
turf.
and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's less of a care for Tenal as much as there is from like kind of Branch and stuff. So hopefully it'll wake up some people. I mean, our numbers even throughout the start of Tenal weren't the biggest we've ever had. So there are numbers there. We just need to have something to fight for.
So let me ask you this. I mean, it's a Sov war, so let's be honest, this shit ain't gonna end in any quick and graceful way. So in the end of this, whenever the everybody's done, if this is a war for territory, which I'm not even really convinced that's what it is either, what happens if there's no more Darkness, Ranger Regiment, Cal Rodrius, there's a couple other alliances I'm forgetting, no more name on the map. Yeah. So what happens next?
I mean,
do you guys Phoenix like Goons did, or?
I mean, you guys would have to be like. There's a lot of time.
It wouldn't be us,
because
right? I couldn't actually be bothered to fly from Malpace to defend Declan.
There's a lot of space, right? I mean, we own a hell of a lot of space, more than we absolutely need to.
Right, but we all know how war goes. You know, there's a good chance you just go from one day fighting tooth and nail to. Granted, I've never fought the Chinese.
Where would you guys end up turtling up if you had to pull a dove? Would you go to Venal to the NPC space?
Are you actually asking him where he would turtle up?
Come on, I want to know.
Because that's not important information. That's shit that's. Let's be honest.
We're not going to tell people. We have a line. We have a line that we consider a line, and that's always been the same line. It hasn't been crossed yet.
Is it a red line? I gotta ask. Is it a red line?
Yes, it is a red line. Yes, it is. The thing is that everyone, for many years, has underestimated us. I mean, that is the reality. We have been invaded multiple times. I have paid off enemies before. Absolutely, I have done it. But that is part of war, right? I mean, that is you win, you survive. Survival is the key. And there are mistakes that have been made in the past, but we're still here, and we own some really like heavy fortified regions. We were in a bit of a struggle in Tenal when we had the second Keepstar, because it was an eyesore and it was never supposed to be there. But we don't have that anymore, so it made that kind of pretty cool. So we have a line. We have what we consider. I mean, a 3-front war is a 3-front war where we're now basically fighting 2/3 of the game. So we'll see how it goes. They obviously.
What, you're fighting 2/3 of the game?
Yeah.
No.
We are fighting.
So this is like
the 3 big super.
No. So I want to clarify that
you're
fighting 2/3 of the coalition. You're not fighting 2/3 of the game. It's 2/3 of the coalition, because the bulk of the game is made up by Goons and Legacy.
Okay.
So 2/3.
This is your own personal casino war. I'm not gonna lie. I've been away for a little fucking while. It's like I'm trying to keep in touch with shit. But when somebody goes, I'm fighting 2/3 of the fucking of the game.
So 2/3 of the geographical space of the game. Does that make you feel better, Blazing?
No, because it's not. I mean, all right. I'll take that conceit.
Are you fighting? Are you guys
2/3
fighting
of the coalition? Just say that 2/3 of the.
Are you guys
the
fighting
holding
X-Death?
coalitions?
X-Death is formed up for one of the timers actually that was in Pure Blind, I think it was, or something like that. So, I mean, we are fighting everyone from Catch round to Cobalt Edge.
All right, so the top 10 alliances in the game. Test, you're fighting them. Horde, you're fighting them.
You put
NC
Test above Goons?
Test is number 1. Test in terms of systems they control.
I'm gonna close
down. You want to look at members? Okay,
on the meta show tomorrow.
Yeah, go on.
So
numbers of
number 1, Goons, you're not fighting them. Number 2, Horde. Number 3, Test. Number 4, Fraternity. Number 5, Brave. The
This
top
sounds
of the
like
top
a fucking
5.
bait.
You're fighting
This
4 of them.
I swear to God, this sounds like.
So
I'm not gonna
this is
fucking lie. This sounds like a fucking bait.
So guys,
Oh,
okay, so
hateful
the reality is this: is that one, I'm not pulling heartstrings. We will fight whoever comes. That's the reality. There is a part of my heart that is broken that fraternity decided to become a pet, because while they were staying blue to both sides, they kind of had their line in the sand, and they could establish themselves as having their own independence, and then deciding by basically resetting us and doing their own thing, they've become a pet. That's the reality, because it is. And you can say, by the way, that like we've seen groups from all of the drone regions come to timers. Well, I guess now with fraternity, it's all of the drone regions, and we've seen fleets from all of legacies. So, I did pick the fight with legacy, hands up. That's, and I don't regret that. I regret some of the words I probably used, because I do still have to work with Villy for another 6 months. But the reality is that if this is the downfall of Sword Dragon, as a lot of people want, then so be it. I've been around for enough time that walking away at the end of it isn't exactly that bad a thing.
Short, do you believe that 2/3 of the universe could kill you if the other 1/3 wanted you to live?
No.
No, God no, God no.
Which side is Thanos on?
That's where I wanted to kind of go.
Because
does the
we'll have to
fraternity
ask,
reset
right,
and
Drayden?
deployment
Where the
trigger
fuck is
what we all
Thanos?
know what happens next?
Okay, so guys, there's one thing to remember. It's like we haven't, so with regards to how it stands right now, Blazing, you can try and contradict this, but the battle reports are true. We are kicking the shit out of NC in AU time zone. We are kicking the shit out of Siege Green in AU time zone. Every single AU entity that has come north, we are kicking the shit out of, except for Test, who bent us over a table while we were like trying to work out the fuck we were doing in Declan. That is absolutely true.
Was that the night that fucking like? No lie. Was that the night that fucking Pro God Legend was watching the LSU game?
I don't know. I don't.
No, it was near the beginning. I know what fight he's talking about. I just can't remember exactly
I'm
what
just
it was.
asking whether or not that fight also happened that night. Okay, fine. Moving on.
So I mean, the thing is that there is we haven't had to call our friends, right? Like that's the reality. Our coalition on its own was able to beat PanFem on its own, right?
No.
So
in AU time zone, yes, I will say that in AU time zone.
But our timers are Asian time zone, Asian and AU time zone.
Yeah,
so
but mine aren't.
That's beside the point. But again, we're not.
But
we're
you
not
guys are
aiming
the
to
invader.
take
It doesn't
back.
matter if you're not.
Like, so the point is to defend, right? The point is to defend and win the defensive timers. So in the defensive timers, we are mostly able to handle you guys ourselves. With the entrance of Fraternity, Fraternity has basically had every Chinese person that is not Fraternity can turn on them, right? Mango, for example, like, I don't know where VVV is going to end up in all this, because they fucking hate Fraternity. And so, and goons they always want to bring subcap fleets. And so in AU time zone, it's going to be massive fucking brawls again, I guess. I mean, my numbers since the leaving of Kenshin, obviously, is the AU numbers in Darkness alone are down. But having something to fight for and having a new enemy is also something that reinvigorates people. I know that NC are going to use this for sure as some like kind of revitalization, and as they should. But I'm not dead till I'm dead, right? Like, and like we took Tenal off NC. If we lose it again, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, that's how I see it.
I have a soft spot in my heart for Tenal because that's where I kind of grew up in Nulsa.
Did you actually though?
I did.
The one thing that taught, like that we were taught, that we learned in the blackout, is that we owned too much space. We owned way too much space. Like, we could survive in 2-3 constellations at most. We have no reason to have so much space. And so I'm not going to do the meme of, we didn't want it anyway. Of course we want to own our space. We want our flag on the map. And if we lose it, we lose it. Like, it's not, I'm not someone that's going to sit here and expect that we're going to win.
You don't want your flag on all the map though, right?
Fuck no.
Like, there's a buffer region of space out there that you're willing to give up.
He just said he doesn't give a shit about Tenal.
Except for that, like, place where it's like you won't let people in on, right?
You can't.
Sure. Yeah, there are, as I said, there's a line and what we consider important and what we don't consider important, and that's our line that our FCs know and that our people have decided is important.
You should tell us what that is.
Fuck no.
Can you just draw the line so we can all like get to
Please,
it now?
please just be obvious about it so we all can know, and then yeah, that'd be fun.
The one thing that I think everyone should be kind of happy about though, and I know that Lazing's dudes and Redline in chat is obviously happy about it, is the content, right? I mean this is fights. Unfortunately, I apologize to NC and everyone. My EU time zone and my US time zone isn't that big. Where the US time zone has been having a lot of fun in Declan, and I know NC's been coming down for those timers. I wish we had more of a coalition that was active in all time zones that we could give our enemies content in other time zones, because the game needs it right now. And right now, most of the fights are happening.
I thought we got past this whole fucking time zone shit.
No. So it's right now, especially with the init redeployment to before it was 7RM or wherever, and then now back to Fountain for a little bit. That was really the bulk of what was the EU and EU and US resistance, and now it's not really there no more until they come back soon, which hopefully is in like next week or so. I'm excited.
I haven't heard anything about it, so I don't know if they're coming back. I don't think they would.
I brought Redline in.
Hold on, I got the ping. Stand by.
I'm gonna do a shot real quick.
You brought what? So. You brought what?
I'm doing a shot. Happy birthday, Mrs. Velocity.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right.
Motherfucker, please. Well, you can't. You guys
I said,
talk to me about this like in an off-scene kind of like shit and like whatnot.
Well,
it's like,
well, I'm not gonna. I'll wait for you to pour one. I'm just saying it's that's why Manic is gone.
So look,
it's,
I don't carry a big fucking giant bottle of Tito's around me anymore because like that shit got me in trouble and whatnot. But like, you know what? I've got these whole little bottles of Fireball.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Mrs. Velocity. Also, Dirk, I got that Plex bought and donated already. It was.
Did you donate it?
Yeah, it was.
I hope you donated it on behalf of all the motherfuckers in Twitch.
I mean, I put in the note for Australia.
Whatever, I don't give a shit, Drayden. Like honestly, my balls are big enough to not give a shit.
But it was 6,500 Plex.
Redline is very excited. He's never talked to
You want some fuck?
I'm just gonna say real quick. I've been sipping my Mardi Gras king cake daiquiri. It's very tasty.
That's a king cake daiquiri.
Oh, God, that sounds like nasty.
There's king cake flavored vodka in this.
Seriously, that was 6,500 Plex?
It was 6,500, yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, you gave me 20. You said you were gonna give me 10. But you gave me 20 billion.
I know what I thought I said I gave you.
I love how Dirk is.
I had
gave
already
you the money
fucking donated real money to people that would actually fucking put fires out there.
I bet you as well as like he's put the Plex up himself, so he just made the.
Now I can't even afford to fucking ever be me again.
Well, he said he'd give me money. I was like, all the discs you send me, I'm gonna buy Plex and donate.
I'm just fucking doing it. I don't give a shit anymore. Well, I do. I do actually give a shit because, like, whatever.
The note you put on when you sent this to me, you put the note Aussie. So like,
obviously, Twitch chat, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't even fucking know. They don't care.
They don't care.
I'm still curious. Like, what is King?
They don't care. And
Kinku?
They don't know that they don't care. Like, I'm like second derivative of what they fucking don't know or care.
It's king cake.
It's so sad.
It's a southern thing or a Louisiana thing.
Can't these people just go fucking run missions and like
is that something
build up some fucking isk and then go buy some fucking plesk?
Okay.
CCP
like,
let them do like
100
plex per donation.
Like cinnamon roll, but it's like made in like a big ring, and then it has like a ton of sugar on top, like colored sugar, and it's got like the cinnamon sauce on it, and then the sugar's on it.
That sounds good.
That's
a drink.
And then
there's a little plastic baby in it, and if you get the piece with the plastic baby, then you buy the next king cake.
For the next
You're
year,
supposed to
right?
eat the baby?
Wait,
so next time, no, not eat the baby.
Who can buy the next king cake?
I was like, I mean, I'd do it, but whoever eats the
Who
baby.
can buy the next king cake?
Don't eat the baby. It's made out of plastic.
Eat it, baby.
It's about like an inch long.
That dude, I've swallowed bigger things, so
Hold on.
Yeah.
Time out.
Really?
Oh, I bet you
Time out. I thought we had a real fucking like instance here, but no.
Why are we timing out? I hate when you time out. Red line is
Because
13.
it is
Red
all
line
about
13 is here.
are you willing to pull it back to can y'all talk shit or not?
Well,
I mean,
we
about
can't.
Eve, I can talk shit about Eve all night.
I just said Redline is here. He wants to talk
Everybody
to
can
Sword.
talk
Yeah,
a bunch
yeah,
of
right.
fucking shit.
So
Hold
let's,
on. His
let's do this.
name's not Redliner, motherfucker.
it's red
Red
line.
line 13.
I said
It is
Redline.
absolutely red line.
It totally is. It says it
He's
right
not
there.
headliner. He's not fucking the other guy.
I don't think there was an
It's
R in
like,
it though.
You
Or
can't
at the
like
beginning.
you can't
pretty
like
sure
put
he's
it
not
together
fucking
and be
any
like
guys.
Redliner.
Redline represents the U.S. time zone dynamic duo of NC. Me and Redline fucking run train
Yeah.
whenever there's a train to
Wait,
run.
hold on, time out. If you were right now pimping how you and fucking Redliner are like one name,
They're the rush hour of U.S. time zone in NC Dot.
are you gonna like?
Yeah. I don't know which one of us
Red
is Jackie
Bunny?
Chan yet. I haven't asked
Are you-
him yet, but
Are you guys gonna be like Red Bunny from now on?
I just think it's funny that Dirk says your name's not Redliner and then proceeds to call
Hold
you
on,
that for the next 20
no,
minutes.
hold on. I'm trying to find out whether or not fucking we're talking about like two different people who have.
Don't
like,
you know who this man
completely
is,
Sensible,
Dirk? If you played
scenarios.
this game, you would know who Dirk Redline is.
You know who I am.
Wow,
You
wow,
know
motherfucker.
Did you
Redline
literally
is
just say
Brother
that you know
Bob's
who I
most
am?
successful poach, and he waves at
He
Fat
didn't
constantly.
even poach me.
Red. I was trying to give him Red Bunny for quality sense. But
So
now
what's
you
with this?
But now you
What is
risk
Bunny
better-
Country?
Have been
That's what I want to
to
know.
Bunny country.
This
Listen,
Bad
this
Country,
Ranger
but less
Regiment
bad,
thing.
less scary.
I came on this show to say one thing to Sword Dragon. Are you guys ready? Sword
Ready.
Dragon, are you ready?
Here we go.
And that is the one fucking quality wartime thing that has ever been said tonight.
You're never going to get to say it, Redline.
Not even what some
Probably
funny
not.
ass motherfucker said.
Quick, hurry.
Are you ready, Sword? Are you ready for the one thing I have to say to you?
Here we go. Go on, Harnett.
Hello, how are you? It's a pleasure to be speaking with you for the first time ever.
Oh my
Hopefully,
How
we
we
can have an
God.
agreeable conversation that is both civil and polite.
Did you write
Also,
this down?
fuck
Yeah,
you,
no,
your
he totally wrote it down.
coalition sucks.
He's been.
I am going to sit there and go, you know what? Boosh. Your fucking declaration of war was fucking bogus.
I was
What are you
aware that
talking
Redline
about?
I'm not
was
gonna
once
fucking
the
lie.
143rd
I
best
will
FC in the
actually
Imperium.
zilch a motherfucker out there because their declaration of war was fucking dick. Like short dick.
Whose declaration?
Whose
of war?
declaration? What are you talking
Minimal fucking dick on the fucking
Who?
dick spectrum.
Who?
I mean, come on, dude.
Who do you think-
gotta,
declared
you
war?
gotta
Who do you think
come
Red Line's
stronger. You literally, come on, honestly, today, you were there with your fucking friends from back home. You worked up, how can I write this up if I actually go on there and say this? And it's like, that's what you brought?
No.
You as an individual probably had a way stronger version of that. What was it?
Dude, that was the version. That's all I got. I thought of it on the spot, man. I'm
No, you
nervous.
can't
like that.
fucking think of it on the spot.
Why?
Like, it's like, like
That's
you
everything I
can,
do, dude.
you
It's
can.
all
I'm
on the
not
spot,
lying. You
dude.
can. But like, honestly, look, back when we were juniors in high school, that shit worked. But like, then you became a senior, and then you like worked on into like other echelons of society, which Bernie Sanders does not represent.
I'm pretty sure that when we were
Okay,
juniors
so-
in high school, Redline's father was a junior in high school.
I
Except
do-
for the fact that, you know what? It's all
I
the
have
same
several
thing,
questions.
Brisk. Honestly,
I-
my daughter is
I-
back there, and
Hold
she's
on.
sitting there listening
is
to the
real.
same nappy shit.
Wait. Questions.
I have several questions. The first one is for Dirk, or for Brisk rather. Brisk,
Oh,
how
God.
old do you
Go
think
ahead.
I am?
I assume that you are like 22.
Yikes. Okay, cool. The second question is for Sort, and this I don't want to go anywhere but here. No one else can know this. Okay.
Nobody else can fucking
So
know this.
everybody else-
Everybody
Us and
shut
then
their
99 people
fucking
watching
ears.
Turn your volume off. Don't listen to this question. This is just for Sort. If I put an alt in GOTG, will you
Who's
let me
No!
go fight
No!
NC in
No!
USTZ?
Who's GOTG?
I'm sorry. That was my bad.
Jesus.
That was my bad from the sidelines.
Look, I'm friends with Riot Rick. One time he killed one of my hurricanes. So
Look,
I have
we've
to
all
I have to
been
say
fucking
GOTG.
sorts
Also
friends
because
of
I'm
Riot
Pam
Rick.
Fam, I have to. But realistically, I really, really want to shoot Horde. So I'm really genuinely curious.
So does most of NC.
I'm not gonna fucking lie. But were
Oh,
you
the answer is
friends
if you
of
want a
Riot
legitimate
Rick?
question, then no.
Why, I want to know how old
Damn
Redline
it.
actually is. Are you not 22? How old are you?
Because
No,
he's
I'm
not
not
fucking
22.
22. Honestly, if that motherfucker even knew who Riot Rick was, he was not 22. Unless he was like 12 years old in his mom's womb playing EVE
There are
Online.
12-year-olds that played this game. Elo was 12 when he
No,
started,
it was
right?
so there's a.
I think
it was
ASP
a
But
was
this
really young too.
motherfucker weren't there.
Alpha
was-
Pilot was like
Controlling
16 when he
police
started
at the
FC, wasn't
time. So it's like, you know what? I'm
Alpha
gonna
was
straight up
like
right
12.
now not give motherfucker credit because like
Alpha Star
if you
was
weren't
very
yes, Alpha Star, Elo Knight,
Okay.
I know those motherfuckers would give them fucking like Stouffer's macaroni and cheese credit, not this motherfucker.
All right, so Redline, are you in your 20s or not?
No.
All right, then I feel like
17.
I apologize.
Why? Why do you feel like
I
how?
Because
thought you were
you
younger
weren't
than me.
there
I should
then,
give you more credit
motherfucker.
than
You have
this.
a-
You
you have a
weren't,
very
you
young
weren't
voice.
in
What
fucking
if I'm like 16?
Javavala.
16. I was
You
close.
have a
very young voice.
I said
No,
17.
I'm not. I'm not
Oh.
16. Whoa.
Redline has like
I
a
said,
a,
what
a,
if?
a wife and shit.
We
like,
have to legitimately
People
on
can get
this
married
show,
in their
on
in their
this show at
teenage years.
least.
Did his
We
parents
Not
have to
in the United
legitimately
States, they don't.
Let motherfuckers come up here and
well,
talk,
not outside of
Alabama,
Alabama,
but
they don't.
still
Yeah,
not
but
be
Alabama.
like bullshit motherfuckers.
I was
it's
like,
like, come on,
Does
please.
his parents have to sign the consent forms
I'm
for
not
the marriage?
gonna fucking do that. It's
Basically,
like, look, I
had to
want
sign
the
my parents
children,
had to sign a
I want the
permission slip for me
children
to
of
stream on
former
Twitch.
veterans to come onto this fucking show and talk, but still, not that.
So I've had a bottle of warm rum on my desk for about a
Fuck
month
yeah,
and a half.
motherfucker! You ready to do this?
Listen. I've had a bottle of warm rum on my desk
No,
for about a
seriously,
month and a
Drake. I'm
half.
just sitting there,
If
like throwing
you
that
can
up there
guess
to you, like,
how
do
old
I need to
am,
like punch you
if
right in the
anybody
fucking
can
nose?
guess how old I am, I will chug that shit right now.
The
Are
whole
you
bottle?
37?
No, you
I'm
can't
gonna
check
guess
the whole
somewhere
bottle.
between
No,
21
no,
and
we're
50.
not gonna let a fucking underage motherfucker have booze on our fucking
there's
show.
no proof.
That's how we're not
It's
gonna
not
fucking
on
do
your
this.
show. It's on my desk.
Yeah, it's
I
yeah.
get it's not how it's on your fucking desk. It's
not
on
being
our show.
streamed,
But
so
you
it
know
doesn't
what?
matter.
Then therefore clear your fucking voice and your like fucking face off my fucking
I'm gonna say
stream.
19
His
and
face isn't
4 months.
His face is. He's.
Wow, 19 and 4 months.
He has a
It's
house, Drayden.
Look,
You're in
look,
our
look.
alliance. What do you mean?
What?
I don't know how old
What?
he is though.
Are you fucking Canadian? Are you killing me?
It's like, yeah, I've gone on his fleece, but that doesn't mean I know how old he is.
Cause you
I
know
would
what?
say
Twitch
36.
ain't gonna fucking
you're close,
tolerate
Mike.
that fucking
You're close.
dog ass
Kinda
nad
close.
shit.
It's somewhere between 19 and 36, so we're getting there.
Oh, 35.
All that
Hey,
being said, can't
33
we
then.
all just believe
No.
motherfucker didn't count?
34.
I was gonna say we're the same age.
Look, don't make me say it with a
look.
weird fucking voice of motherfucker didn't count.
I'm 31, alright? I'm 31.
Oh, damn.
There you go.
You say that
so,
now,
hey,
like
for
you were in the
record, Redline is
stand,
older
but
than I am.
You weren't in the stand.
What are you talking about? I'm not in the
You
stand.
weren't
What
in the
stand?
fucking dirt.
What? What are you talking about? What dirt?
There's dirt somewhere.
This is my favorite
You
part
weren't
of the
in
show.
it, apparently.
Tell me,
We are
Were
at
you in the
part of
fucking
show.
dirt?
Have you ever
If
been in
I
the shit?
Were you?
know-
Hold on,
Makes sense to me.
Hold on, Dirk.
I don't know.
Time out,
I don't know
time out.
exactly.
Hold on,
If
hold on.
there
Time
was-
out.
Everyone time out.
Canadian dirt?
Hold on, time out.
Dirk,
Hold on,
Dirk,
hold on, time out, time out,
Dirk.
time out.
Dirk, if there was dirt to be in and you were in it and I would have known about it, I would have been there with you.
You wouldn't have though.
Bullshit.
Like, honestly,
I would have been
I've
there,
always
in
been
the
in
dirt,
the
next
level
to
of
you.
fucking dirt that none of you motherfuckers would have ever known about.
What are you in Vietnam? What the
Mainly
fuck?
that's because
Yeah.
I was always trying to cover for my
This is
own
open
ass.
comms, not nom. There are rules. Market zero.
Anyway, someone in Twitch did guess my age, so I'm gonna
There's a
probably
lot of
die
numbers out
within
there.
the next
31?
hour or so.
31.
Everybody just
Don't
needs
die.
to realize who the fuck is literally in our fucking channel right now.
Redline
in
13.
the team
I know
speak
Roman
channel?
numerals are hard, but I could
about
teach
that,
you one time.
But like nobody's
Yeah,
willing to fucking rep.
It's just you and me, Dirk.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just you
I
and me
know.
the
here.
TeamSpeak channel, they're listed. You can actually see who's in the TeamSpeak chat or the Twitch chat.
I know.
You can
but
click
like,
on the thing and look at the list of
willing to-
everyone there.
Who's willing to rep a motherfucker? You know what? I'm willing to rep Drayden.
You're gonna rep me?
For what?
What does that mean?
What do we? Is
Who's
he taking
Drayden
damage?
repping after I rep
Drayden,
Drayden?
are you tackled somewhere?
Then I'll rep LB.
What?
I
is
don't know
going
what we're
on?
doing. Yeah, who you
And
gonna
now
rep
Elby's
LB?
like, what the fuck? How did I get pulled?
I don't understand
How
what's
did
going
I
on.
even get pulled into this show? Fuck that noise, LB. Rep a motherfucker. We're gonna like do a
Is this-
count out here, and the last motherfucker's getting nailed like a fucking ass.
Is this like tag? Are we doing
What?
like a tag thing? Chat tag?
Wait.
Everybody
someone-
rep somebody, and then what?
I don't
I
understand
don't
the
know.
point
You
of
This
tell
isn't
us.
Little John.
This
We're not
is
throwing it up.
talking about.
Repping. What the fuck
Okay,
is this?
So I think I understand. Basically,
Represent?
we're
Repair?
going to.
Do we
you
need
are-
No.
NC.gang
We mean-
signs? Is this what's
we
going on?
mean-
right now?
Reprehensible?
vouching
mean
for somebody.
repo.
What the fuck is rap?
And then
I'm
whoever
not-
doesn't get
It's not
vouched-
about rap
Okay.
or
Redline's
rap.
explaining
It's
the rules,
about
I
like
think.
honestly. You have to actually rep a motherfucker you know in the channel.
Stream elements. I'm repping stream elements. That's who I'm repping.
Oh,
We're
shit.
going to fucking right now, with these. Somebody take a screenshot of who's in here, and like, who are these fucking people?
Do they have
So,
Nirvana
so
implants?
Blazing Bunny, Drayden, and Redline are NC.
Hold on.
Dirk.
Look.
Bruce
honestly,
Screwball
on
and Dirk
any given
McGurk
night,
are
we
in
know
Delana's
who
horde,
Blazing
so she's
Bunny
paying
is.
for him.
LB is a wormholer, by the way. Delana is Horde, and
Look,
Dragon is
this
Deadco.
this
Hold on.
TeamSpeak
Time
channel
out.
is
I do
literally
not
a
want one
fight
motherfucker all of a
in
sudden sitting
Kino.
there and going, wormholer, by the way. It's like, you know what that means to the rest of the world?
Nothing.
Nothing.
They don't have any
Crazy
friends.
motherfucker
Hey,
that
listen.
nobody knows
Listen,
about.
listen to this observation though. This TeamSpeak channel is literally a fight in the north.
Except for it's not
It's-
because there's no
No,
wormholers.
it's not, except for
It's
except
4 to
for
3
literally
odds.
Yeah, LB.
66% don't
blocking
give a shit.
the-
Oh, but there's,
Dead
you mean there's no
coalition.
wormholes in the north, yeah.
And a wormholer came through and is just shooting our shit with random
And that,
and it's painful.
Oh my god! Time out! I'm gonna back up my own perspective of what this
I would
was.
like to
Honestly,
confirm that
if
I
this
hate the
is us
timeout thing
right
as well.
now being like retarded, and some other guy came in here and he goes, "Yo, let me throw some semi-retarded in there," like that would be fucking baller. I really feel like one motherfucker came in here and he was just like, "Wow, I'm only semi-retarded, but I'm just gonna like inject myself."
Is that
he injected himself into us right now?
I think he's talking about you, Redline.
And we're like, and we're
do you want me to
responding to
leave?
this.
No, I don't want you to leave.
Do you want me to go, Dirk? 'Cause
Well,
I'll
hold on.
leave.
Hold
I
on.
just want to say hi to Sword Dragon, man.
Do you want me to
You're
leave, or do
attacking
you
me.
want me, or do you want
You
me
want a
to
1v1 at the
make
sun
you
right now?
leave? Now I'm confused.
What's this?
I don't
story,
want you to
Randy?
leave. I
Okay.
want you to Eve.
I am Eving. I'm gating a carrier to J1AU.
Holy shit! She just chimed in here tonight.
What?
The red-haired girl.
What about me?
You don't know
I heard
anybody's
her.
name, do you?
Hold on. Was that not you?
His
Or was that a different girl?
There's only one girl in these comms.
Who
That
the
I
fuck
didn't-
was that then? Who fucking
Delana.
chimed in?
There's the other
That
one.
was another girl.
Who
in there.
chimed? Who chimed
Well, I guess
in? Like,
functionally there is rain.
who chimed in? Like they had Rain voice.
I don't know. I don't know who
Well,
that was.
occasionally I'm the same person as Rain, so you never know.
There you go.
Like,
Wait a
do you remember those nights when you like pretended to be Rain, but you weren't Rain because you were way fucking cooler than that shit?
Whoa. Don't talk about
I
it.
wouldn't
Come
say
on,
that.
Something, shots fired, something.
Shots fired.
But a lot of times people
No.
will just assume that
I
I'm
just
Rain
meant like,
because there's
look,
only one girl that plays Eve, you know? So we're all the same person.
look.
I don't know. I learned quite a
Each
few
girl
things
that
in Vegas
plays
about
fucking
a
Eve needs to
a
stand
girl
the fuck up
Discord
and,
that
be there that night.
I don't want to be in.
Did you get invited?
There
to
is
that?
an a girls only Discord
Yeah.
for
Yes,
girls
we
that
know
play
that.
Eve.
We're not allowed in, motherfucker.
Yeah,
No,
we're
you are
definitely
not.
Yeah, we're
No,
not.
you misunderstood what I guess I didn't communicate it very clearly. I don't want to be
Drayden,
mentioned in that Discord.
Drayden, can you tuck
would
your
never
fucking
know.
Drayden, can you tuck your fucking dick and get into the girls only Discord?
I don't think that's how that works.
Just tape that shit
We
down,
would
dude.
know
Take one
who
for the
you are.
Can
team.
you get in there and just like tell us what do they fucking mean so we
I-
can like understand?
I'm willing to tuck my dick, but I'm not gonna shave this off, and that's a
No,
giveaway.
I'm not asking you to shave shit. Can you just like give your fucking buff muff up above, like
man's
how
just
your
said buff
shit's getting
muff.
tucked down?
Buff muff.
Well, I'd have to grow my buff muff out.
But then tuck your shit down?
As long as you shave it into a lightning bolt.
I'm not gonna
right?
lie. It's like, look, I've tucked my shit. I did that whole shit during, like, what was that? Violence of the Rain? Or, like, what was that movie?
Guess
Silence
who's
of the
back?
Lambs.
Otto.
Silence
Now
of
Dirk
the
Sharp
Lambs.
let Otto talk.
Hey, what's up?
Silence of the
Whoa.
Lambs.
Hey, Otto.
I
how's it
did
going,
Violence
dude?
of the Rain, but, like, whatever.
Dirk, I have a question because, like, now that I can actually see the stream and stuff, why are you so well dressed?
That is a good question. We take turns on this show about
Dude,
who's
my
actually
sh-
well
my
dressed. Brisk
shit
is
is-
always dressed well, and then
My
otherwise
shit
he
is
just rotates.
wrinkled as
But Brisk
fuck.
isn't wearing a tie.
You
I
guys
think
can't, see
That
how
actually-
my shit
Is
is wrinkled
Is that
as
a
fuck?
sports
It's
jacket
like,
over a
look,
Hawaiian
I throw this
t-shirt?
shit out there and I go, yo, give me some starch. And it's like,
I'm
look,
like-
I'm not wearing a fucking, like, necktie like Brisk does. It's like, fuck that noise.
Yeah, but Dirk,
I have
he's
a blue
not.
I don't
shirt on, and
have to
apparently
anymore.
The chroma
I don't have
is
to.
getting a
I'm a
chunk of
few
it.
years older than
yeah.
Brisk.
I could tone it down a bit, but then you'll have like
I don't
green
have to
halo
do
if
that.
you want that.
I am actually wearing pants tonight for a change.
I would actually like to point
Dude,
out while it's
I fucking
semi-quiet.
sat there and wear sweatpants last week, pissed all over myself. Nobody gave a shit.
I know. I
You
thought
gotta
it
get
was
in
gonna stay
quick.
quiet for
You gotta
long
talk
enough.
real fast.
Tampa beat Winnipeg tonight in hockey, so a
Oh.
Floridian team beat a
Oh,
Canadian team in hockey.
Back there in Edmonton.
7-1.
Back there in Edmonton.
We don't got no
somebody
money.
gave a shit about stuff.
Oh yeah, good one.
So let's go. Can,
There you go, Briss.
can
I got the
I?
chroma fixed for you. I think.
Never mind.
What?
Well, I'd like to continue talking shit about Eve though. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Huh,
talk more.
I want to go
like,
out there to Red
sorry,
You guys
Thoughts.
can say what
Sorry.
you want.
So you mentioned earlier before we got on the crazy tangent that this is good content, and I appreciate the hell out of that because it really is. Fighting's awesome. I love fighting. We should fight more often.
This isn't where we should fight, though.
It is
No, not
absolutely
here.
where we
It's
should
actually-
fight.
We should
Any
fight
war is worth
It's
it.
actually
in
pretty fun.
Like,
Spaceship
honestly,
Land.
is this where we should fight?
So otherwise, you have to fight somewhere, and any small catalyst has the potential to turn into a major conflict. And if
I
this
think the
happens to
only
turn
one is
into a
gonna
place
be-
We used to
that
Wait, 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 let him finish.
back in the day. We used to talk about shit like somebody's wife, like bitched out at somebody else's wife, and therefore a war took
oh
place.
my god,
And
I
now
remember
we're
that.
like, and now we're like,
Jesus
yeah.
and now we're
Christ,
like,
I reference
wow,
that constantly,
how
and
much
no one
sadness
knows
takes
it.
place when somebody sits there
I
and
remember
goes,
that.
"No, I'm not fucking doing that for you." Bam, a war takes place.
Wasn't
What's gonna
the
be
wasn't the
interesting to
test
watch-
flip out on Sort something similar to that? Like Villy freaking out?
Kinda.
There was
Not
a whole
quite-
bunch
not
of
quite.
shit
Oh my
back in the
God.
We'll
fucking
never
day,
know.
but like,
It'll
but
take
like
us 5
now.
years to know.
But here's the point
What
though.
kind of
Does it
fucking
matter?
war takes place now? And like, how are we gonna like? Honestly, I swear to
Thor, has
fucking
it been
God,
really weird being on CSM after the Billy
I
thing?
want to make Mrs. McGurk go
I do
out there
wanna know that.
and smack somebody in the fucking face and make a war happen, and it still wouldn't happen
Why not?
because it fucking wouldn't. Because
why not,
nobody
though?
would take it serious. Because
What do
right
you-
now,
I
if
mean-
Mrs. McGurk smacked Sword Dragon in the face, everybody would sit there and go, "It's just content."
No,
What do you
that would be
consider a
like
war?
cheering.
This isn't 2009. We're not hate fighting.
I
This is
know,
a fucking video
I
game,
know,
dog.
I know.
Right.
Even
Who said
right
that everybody
now,
be
it's
cheering? That's mean. What the fuck?
Hold on. I'm gonna
Fuck
smack
it.
Sword in
Love
the
you, bro.
face, and then
Wow.
Mrs. McGurk is gonna come and smack Sword in the face, and like
Mrs.
literally
McGurk
nothing's
pointed
ever
at
gonna
Vegas.
fucking
Wait,
happen
wait.
because everybody
To be
knows
honest-
it's content.
Okay, so clarify. If Mrs. McGurk hit me in the face, I would think I'd done something wrong because that woman is amazing.
Yeah,
So,
She is
fuck
amazing,
that.
but you
I
would
think it's
never
really
accept
fucking
the
weird
war
that I
coming
When
want-
on
Mother
you
Teresa
for
smacks
that.
you in your face, you kind of figure you.
Yeah, you're like,
deserve it.
I did something
Right.
wrong. I done fucked
Yeah,
up.
this was my bad. I fucked
Yeah,
up.
I'm
That
sorry.
woman put me to bed when I got really fucked up in Vegas. I deserve
Yes,
it.
she did.
That was this
If
past
I-
year, right?
Yeah, no, it was excellent. I actually have video. It's actually terrible, but I could send it to you if you want. Sort. We put you to bed, and then
That'd be funny,
the whole
yeah.
room, all of us, like sang a drunk song to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
so adorable, though.
That should have
I-
started
that's
a
not a-
war. You
How
know,
did-
course
why
not.
should that have started a war?
why not?
You know what should
why
start a
not?
war? Here's my issue with this game sometimes. You know what
Oh.
should start a war is, wow,
Laser
I
gun
play,
you see us on 15.
honestly,
I play a
that
video
night-
game about
that night,
spaceships.
that should have caused a war. If I had a war mechanism behind me, I could have
Is that
like,
because your wife got
potentially
into bed with
caused
me,
a
Derek?
war.
Is that because your wife got into bed with me?
Oh Lord.
Because my wife felt I can only get on top of him to put him to sleep. I'm like, no, you're gonna start a war.
Tracks
She's like, I
for
don't give a
me.
shit.
Wait, who's getting on top
Can
of
we
who?
not just put him to sleep? And I'm like, but you know what's gonna start a war? But that would have like allowed me to have a mechanism behind me that was like that had a war, and I didn't have any of that. It's like Matani would not have gone to war over that.
Are you
Probably
trying to say that there's not enough
you-
mechanisms
What?
in Eve to go to war?
Just to make
Yes,
Sort go to sleep.
that's exactly
No.
what I'm saying.
No,
Sov is
like-
fucking trash.
Dirk, are you saying that you're less than a big deal than Matterall?
Oh.
Okay, I have to chime in. Sov is not
I
trash.
would way more
Sov is
be
trash.
able to
The way
cause a
we
war
do
with-
Sov is
than
trash.
Matterall,
Sov
but
is just
still,
trash, period.
the
I-
two
we
of
can
us
have this
together,
discussion another
the two of
place.
us together could
Matterall's not going
like,
to start a war.
The
He's
two
a
of us
pacifist.
together could
Matterall's
not
not going to start a
fucking
war because
spark a
Matterall
flame.
doesn't play the game.
Well, and here's I mean, I could be totally wrong, but my view on when wars happen now, it's more to just destroy the other citadels and clear them out of the system. The Sov is like an
What is it?
afterthought.
What is it? Not
It's
just
just
a bunch
something to
of
do
fucking
afterwards. But
pussies
it's,
knocking
the
again?
Sov isn't the focus
No.
anymore.
Holy
Now
shit!
it-
Are we literally in the Eve
Wars-
Online level of scissoring?
Wars in
Kind
this
of.
game have not
I have
changed. The
never
things you shoot
fucking
has
said
always
that
been
before.
changed.
And I would
We
like
are-
it
Wars
if
have-
we
shut up,
never
so hold
said
on,
that
I
again.
will,
Hold on, everybody
I'll
be
disagree
quiet for a
with that
second.
once Dirk is done.
Don't be quiet. Be loud.
We're in the Eve Online level of scissoring. Like, there's
What
not
does that
even
even
two
mean?
dicks like trying to sword fight. Like right now, it is just like, what the fuck?
So what you're saying is that the two entities can't just play to pleasure each other?
No, they could totally fucking do that. It's like
That
as long as
so that would
as long as
basically mean-
everybody
You're saying
around
that it's
them,
a
like
bad thing,
the
though.
lips
So it's me
of
and
the
my
fucking
enemy are married, then, I
organization
guess.
recognize what they're fucking doing.
Hold on. I do want to hear it, buddy. Buddy, you were talking about you were gonna go into something with the Sov stuff.
He's going
He
to talk
wants-
about
Sov
how
is
there's
trash.
not enough good mechanics to fight.
There's not enough good mechanics in the game right now to effectively conduct conflict.
Except for scissoring.
There's what? The...
Except for
Apparently,
scissoring.
yes.
So-
Well, hold on.
So,
We have to,
Good
we
point,
have to
Dirk.
change
I would
this
love to have
name.
this
We have to
discussion.
change
He's not wrong.
with
This is
someone.
we talk
We
about
have
this
to
on the Meta
change-
Show all the time.
We have to
Do you really?
change
Do you really
this
say
name
that
of
Hold on.
we're the Eve
content
Online
fighting.
era?
We
of scissoring?
always
We have to
talk
change this
about
name of.
You talk
that
about
it's
scissoring.
It's
difficult
not
for
about
having-
content fighting anymore. It's
we
about
have
scissoring
we have
now.
been talking about for the
No,
last month
content
Why
fighting is
co-
essentially scissoring, though.
groups
Like,
go
if you
go
really
to
think
war
about it.
and why
I know.
we're not
I
going
know.
to war now because there aren't
But
a
you
lot
know
of
what?
reasons to do it.
We're no longer content fighting. We're scissoring.
It's
What
the
is the
same
diff-
thing.
what- I don't-
because
It's important
both-
that we use
both
the word
groups get
scissoring
pleasure
confused.
as
about it.
often as possible.
Yeah, it's very specific, and I don't get the.
Because it is beyond content fighting. It is just like two vaginas fucking rubbing against each other.
I know
You
what
want to
it
know why
is.
there's only two vaginas rubbing against each other? Because there's nothing else to fucking
Hold on,
fight over.
Number one. If somebody wants to throw a third vagina in there, I am willing to.
I would like to see the yoga
understand-
required to make that
to give you
work,
like,
but-
can I like clarify something for like Bunny that. So
I
there are
PM'd you
plenty
also,
of-
by the way.
There are okay. I'll go over it. There are plenty of things to fight over. The problem is the things to fight over are horrible.
Yeah, that's
That is
always
the
been my
that is the
point. Anytime
difference.
I brought it up, I agree 100%. It's the mechanics in place to fight over what is conventionally Sov null objectives are just a pain in the ass. Nobody wants
See,
to do them.
I disagree. I disagree with you completely. I think that it's more or less that we just don't do them right. Like, because if you think about
We
it,
as
having
Eve or we as NC Dot?
I feel like fighting
As
over
in
structure is
Eve.
more fun than doing the Entosis shit. The Entosis shit sucks.
well, so
So
Entosis boils down to have one huge fight on a gate, and whoever wins the fight probably wins the timer.
but that's
Like-
exactly wrong for the
But
attacker,
why do it?
sure, but for
Yeah,
but
but
for
that's
the
not the
but before the
design. But
defender.
Hold on,
But the
hold on. Wait,
fundamental
wait.
issue
Let
is-
him talk.
But no, but the fundamental issue is why do any of that in the first place?
So
What's the
okay,
point?
if you
Because that's
hang on,
not the
Redline's
design.
point is actually wrong. For the attacker, they want the fight. The defender wants to avoid the fight. The defender, if a defender fights, most likely they lose the timer. They can get more done by holding down a hostile fleet and then going and defending the system themselves. That's
That's
how
not my
a sub
point,
actually
though.
works.
It is though. So we're
that's
talking
not-
about soft mechanics, and it's the point is with the way that Sov works currently, the defender has such an overwhelming. Even if you just waterboard the shit out of fleet, because you can't just bring a bullshit fleet to a Sov timer, because if the defender holds the, if you just show up in like fucking jackdaws or something, you can't contest seriously a grid like that. And since Entosis takes so long and it's so unfun, if you lose 5 or 6 Entosis ships at a time and you can't have a mechanism to effectively defend them, nobody reships.
What I'm saying though is that I personally don't think that that's how that mechanic was designed to be played. That's just how we bastardized it as the Eve player base, which is what we do with every mechanic in the game.
But
Okay, so I was on CSM when sub was created. The idea of why it was created was to split the fights up.
Exactly.
That
that's
was
what I
the
mean.
reason why it was done, and it doesn't do that at all, because both sides will obviously want to bring the most optimal numbers to a fight. But if you do that as the defender, you are going to lose the timer. Most of the
Dude.
time, all you want to do is you want to pin your person down, take the 6 or 8 minutes you need to defend nodes, and that's it.
I would rather not, honestly. Like when I was in Goons, we were doing sob stuff and just like roaming around the constellation and jackdaws or whatever, just trying to keep my hackers alive and kill enemy hackers. Like no big huge set piece battle, but actually playing the mechanic how it was meant to be played is super fucking fun.
No, it's not.
Yes,
It is so uninteresting for line members that it's
So okay,
that-
so there is a saying in this: nothing is more boring than doing intosising than guarding someone doing intosising.
exactly.
Unless a fight over
So
the
you-
Entosis
you
happens,
not-
but that's
So you.
But even
so
then,
you
but the
attach-
point I was trying to make is, regardless of the tactical reasons and why this sucks, from a strategic standpoint, why would anybody who wants to go to war to take territory? We're all sitting here talking about how we all have too much space.
Most
So
of
if
the time,
there's-
people
if
do
there's- If we have too
Go ahead.
much space, what is the motivation for anybody to want to go fight?
So
And
back
that's
most
in
the
the
people
problem.
day,
do solve. Most people do solve to actually hurt the other person. Like if you can go in with one ship and take 10 people and reinforce 10 systems.
It's just
never
trolling,
show up.
though. It's
Never
just trolling.
show up to the timer because like for example, NC and PanFam reinforced something like 40 systems last weekend. Now, for them, it's actually better and more viable for them not to form up or form up the small shit and harass than it is to actually contest the timers, because it hurts the defender more sitting there for hours on end doing nodes than it does to actually get a fight and feel like you're accomplishing something at the same time.
because you got to look at what there is to lose, right? So I go out and I hack 40 systems. Yeah, I don't care if sure the line members might be upset for a day. It's like, oh, we never follow up on objectives. Like, all right, cool. But you know who has to sit there and guard dog every single one of these objectives or lose one? The fucking defenders do. And that's why this current mechanism for everything we fight over for what is usually solve null objectives is becomes so convoluted, so drawn out, it's not fun anymore. So like you sit there, think of the average dude who has to sit there, he only has one character, can only fly on the weekends, for example, or doesn't fly super all the time, like super dedicated. You have somebody who has to sit there in a DPS ship and can't do nothing besides, oh well, the timer was done and all you got to do was sit here and sit in a fleet because God forbid they show up in a harassment fleet. You know what I mean? I'm not a game designer by any stretch of the imagination, but I can tell you that having to do this for the last since they've introduced FozzieSov, it's not fun. Back in the day, we'd go to war to Dead Zone, or we'd go to war to just to kill Sov, and I guess that's you could do the same shit here, but with the the way you set it up and everything like that, it's just there's no point.
Honestly, I think it's
Empire
time for
building
them-
meta is garbage.
Well,
is
that's
my point.
But that's the problem, and I think the real issue comes down to we don't have reasons to fight each other anymore. And
No.
Mittens used to say that the worst thing that could happen is you go to an Eve meet and you meet all these guys that you're fighting against, and you realize
Mittens
they're
on,
not the big
Mittens
dicks.
on the meta show?
They're not the big dicks that everybody thinks they are. So it's kind of hard for me to get into a grudge match with somebody because I met them and they're kind of cool and I like them.
Which
And
you
I
could
mean,
get
that's an
past.
issue. That's an
No,
issue.
that is fucking
still.
No, it's not.
legitimately the lowest level of fucking ass fuck.
So back in the day, you could combine the two things: ease of content and hate fighting, right? So like, I don't like Mittens because he's a fucking douche. That's not. I mean, that might be true,
No,
but like,
honestly,
so you combine
honestly,
that
you could
with
be in
the
a
ease of
fucking, like, bar
creating
and, like,
conflict, and
think
you have
that
a
and,
war.
like, also wanna
Now
go to war.
there's no reason. There's no reason. Like, I could say, oh, I hate fucking darkness. I think they're all botters. But then what happens with that? I just sit and there's nothing I could do. Really, it's a drawn out process that takes 5 months with no discernible impact, and it's fucking
Correct.
trash.
That's part of the problem. That's the other thing, is that even when you do decide that you want to go to war, the things that you do to go to war, in the end, it's almost impossible to knock somebody out to the point like you would see in the old days, a big fight, and the group that loses dies, and they all split up and they become another alliance, or they all end up going somewhere else.
And
You
I
lose a
think
war
with
now,
that,
and
though-
you go somewhere else, you lick your wounds, and you come back stronger than ever. I mean, it's fine. Goons lose a war, and a year or two later, they're the most powerful in the history of the game. It's like
So one thing I would like to
crazy.
clarify that is some of the ways that wars were won in the past actually drove a lot of people out of the game. So for game growth and game stability, that's not a good thing. But it was conflict drivers and actually things that people would fight over.
Right. But and I agree. It's like, so the underhanded, I just disbanded your alliance with to borrow the oldest meme possible. I just disbanded your alliance with a spy without fighting, all that stuff. Sure, it drove a lot of people out of the game, but what's I would argue has driven even more content creators out of the game is the current meta. So like, we have people who sit in our Discord who don't play anymore because there's no reason to. Like, the style of gameplay that they've enjoyed for the last however long they've been playing is gone, and why bother at this point, right? Because
But there is something to be said about adapting. A lot of people will rather complain than adapt. That is a big problem. Like, there are game design issues, like definitely game design issues, but there are a lot of people
And
who
there's
would rather
also
complain about.
there's also
problem
the
than
idea of
actually
like
adapt.
those people who are like tired of fucking playing with the game. It's like, honestly, move on.
But why do you want that? Because you have these people who have dedicated
Because maybe there's
the
100
graphs,
other people after you that would like to move in while you move on.
So they can still do that. EVE is a game that rewards new talent, right? Because the people who started FC,
No.
yes, it absolutely
No,
is.
We can have that.
Redline is the
we can
perfect
have that
fucking example of someone
we
who
can
has
have
not
that
been playing that long, but
conversation
come
all
back with
fucking night
a
long. The fact of the matter is like, does it really?
yes. It absolutely
Does it
does.
fucking
Somebody who has
really?
the talent to actually lead fleets and create content
Talent?
is rewarded.
You want to measure this on talent or like
it's a term,
assets
dude.
behind
You're
talent or
splitting
anything
hairs
else
right now
behind
about
fucking
nonsense.
Funny is correct. This is a pretty solid meritocracy in this game. And
Oh,
if you're good at it, and
if you have
can
someone
provide
who's
when
content,
you assume that nothing can come up behind
the
behind
point
that,
is
you're
that
literally gonna make Bernie
nobody needs
Sanders
to quit.
happen in this
Look,
game.
nobody needs to quit for somebody else to move up. I mean, at the end of the day,
That's
you can
not
go out there and
fucking
create
true.
stuff. Yes, it is.
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
So
It
no, no,
is
no, 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 no.
literally
So
not
okay.
true.
So no,
to-
in Alliance, hang on. I've been here in this game longer than any of you, and I can tell you
I
in
would
that
like to
sense.
contest that thought, Dragon.
Yeah, although we've been around the same amount of time, but the
There
reality
we
is
go.
the reality is that in Alliance leadership positions and Alliance FC positions, you generally have an alpha, and unless that alpha goes away, another alpha does not come along. And it is the same in every Alliance, the whole game over, for the whole of time.
I would honestly
Hold on,
disagree with
except
that.
none of
And
that shit
in-
fucking
in-
rolls over at any point in that. It's like
in my alliance as it is, right? So we have a core of FCs who do really good things and are really
what
active,
would it take
and they have
for
more of
Lady
a voice.
Scarlet to be some other fucking Scarlet?
She doesn't.
Lady
FC.
Scarlet's not an FC.
She doesn't FC.
She's a she does
I
the
get
administrative
that.
stuff.
I get that. Fuck the
Then you're not
FCs.
talking about what we're talking about.
Fuck the militia members. What would it take to actually back out Vince Draken or Lady Scarlet?
Vince Draken is an active FC, so that's not even
Yeah,
a
Vince
point.
is an active FC and the Alliance leader, so unless
what would
he
it
decides to
take
stop
to,
FCing,
like,
you're not going to back
get
him
the
out.
fucking whatever it is. What would it take to back them the fuck? What would it take?
Here's
to back
here's
off
an accurate analogy. What you're saying
the
is
Matani and his fucking like
is
whatever
the FCs
his
and
like
PL
organization
can't
is
proceed
like around him.
because Shadu it was the FC at some point is what you're telling me right now. Because Shadu has to quit in order for someone like DJ or Tachi to come back.
Proceed to the level of Shadu. Yes, there is always one person that controls it all. Vince is the person at NC. That has always been the case. Like you can have these you have to accept.
But
that
all
you
these
are
people,
second,
what would it take to get to that level?
Shut up.
How much? What fucking wax could you
Blazing
burn
Bunny,
to get to that?
Niduspa, Redline, you are all the second tier down from Vince. That's always going to be the case. It has nothing to do with your FC skill. It always has to do with exactly how it was. There is always one Asher Elias. There is always one Darkshines. Pando is not on the same level as Darkshines. It may be the same, but Darkshines is considered the top after Sister.
Isn't Pando the man?
Pando does his own kind of thing.
Right, but the thing with
Shines is the man, I think.
Shines is arguably at the same level as Pando, but they do different stuff.
But real quick, to sort,
it's a campaign commander is the actual term. Like that is the difference. It's someone that runs a campaign. It doesn't have anything to do with FC skill. It has to do with the person
that would assume
that is
there's
at
a
the top.
campaign.
But really quick, Sort, I have a thing. So there's always the top ultimate authority, but they generally fit into a time zone. So you have like the EU and the US time zone.
No.
Because Vince doesn't run hardly anything in the US time zone.
So yes. Hold on.
No, Drayden, you're wrong.
There's always going to be. Happens, but I want to get back to what we were talking about.
No. Let's finish this. No, let's not.
Shut the fuck up, Dirk.
Let's finish this.
I was going to bring Sword back to something.
What are you going to be, the fucking rain tonight?
No, I'm just saying we're having a good conversation. You're trying to rein it back in. Why? What the fuck, dude?
Because I want to get it back to a fucking common point, and if all of a sudden your fucking common
we're
point
having
is
a
like,
conversation.
Suck my dick.
We're
trying to
getting
talk
into
about
FC
this
stuff, and
I
I
wasn't
wasn't
pissed off because we're not talking to you.
I wasn't saying that there's other people that are in
get
control. If you're not in the same time zone,
fucking shit. It's not about talking to me. It is about actually
you're not talking, so you're
reveling
freaking out.
in
You
this
got to
fucking
bring
game.
it back to something else, even though we're having a solid conversation.
Like, honestly, is that where you want this to be? Because you and me
I
are
want
bringing
you
this-
to let
you and
these
me.
guys talk.
Because-
I'm interested in hearing what they're saying, because honestly, I see a little bit of what
you and
Swort's
me
saying.
can bring this
But
shit
I
up
also
tomorrow morning.
We don't need to talk about. This is for the show. I'm talking about Bunny and Swort having a disagreement. I agree with both of them, to be honest. Swort's issue is the fact is
because you're always a fucking middleman.
The top guys almost never leave. It is very rare for the empire builders, once they build their empires, to walk away from it. It just doesn't happen that often. That is true.
And it doesn't need to either.
But when it comes to the FCs, I think there's a little bit more. But in the end, yes, there's always going to be like the alpha male. This guy's the top FC. Like, there's always going to be the Killer B. There's always going to be the Darkshines. There's always going to be the Asher. There's always going to be a J. But, when it comes down to it, there's still room for these other guys to make names for themselves coming up.
It's
and they have.
interesting you bring up Killer B, because this is a perfect point to what I want, the point I want to make. The position only exists. You only keep that power if you are not saying Killer B is active. Me and Killer B are friends. We're in the same alliance. We have a really professional working relationship,
Just
et
be
cetera,
straight. He's not active as like he was in the past. That's
exactly.
Reality.
You
Killer
can
is
only
not,
keep
Killer
that
is not the
position
campaign
because you
commander
can rally
for
the
this.
troops.
By far is more of the campaign commander, and if
Correct.
being honest, everybody in the FC team and NC Dot will pay more heed to that. So I would say, if this agrees with Swort's point, then so be it. But I'm kind of been drinking, so if it's to the point where your head honcho FC doesn't play anymore, then then they're replaced, because that's the way the game
It's
is.
about them being a fucking head honcho FC that doesn't play anymore. Number one, your fucking head honcho FC only carries their weight as long as they are carrying their fucking weight.
As long as they're active, yes.
It's being an FC.
And believe me, before
Hold
they
on.
go fucking dead, they stopped carrying their weight, just like fucking Killer B did.
Hold on, I want to hear what Otto has to say about this.
Being an FC, especially at like the levels that we're talking about, is as much a question of skill and activity as it is a popularity contest.
Absolutely.
So like, if you're going to be an arrogant piece of shit and call all of your fleet members the most useless players in the game, you could be, you know, the TWD of the game or the fucking Dynabolic of the game or whoever. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter how good you are. It's
Oof,
you have to-
Dianabolic, that's a dated reference.
Yeah,
That was-
I know, right?
Like,
But, like-
even for me, that was like, I'm like, God damn, is that bitch still alive?
Otto, that was
Yeah.
that was the fucking Eve equivalent of OK Boomer, dude.
What?
Yeah, man.
Not even that. It's like it was like beyond
like-
okay, but even
Keep
boomers
going, though.
and
You have
evil,
a good
like,
point.
What?
Right, is it like you could be the greatest FC who ever walks the game of all time, right? Better than anyone we know. And if you're an actual piece of shit that just comes along once a week, pings the fleet, calls everyone assholes, right? It doesn't matter how good you are. People aren't going to rock up. So you have to balance the
wasn't McCullough
activity. Yeah.
No,
Or-
you
or-
McCullough
can't
was a weird
Dianabolic
example, though.
and McCullough at the same time.
But you have to balance all of these things, right? To be an FC, you have to be active. You can't just rock up once a month and be like, everyone get in my fleet. You have to, you know, treat people with, you know, a modicum of respect. Or alternative, but like, and that's also a sliding scale. Like, you can be an asshole, right, and swear at people a lot. But if you're really good, then people will put up with it. If you're
And
not,
that's
then
but that's the
people won't
point,
put up
and
with it.
that's why I feel like
It depends on
for
the
the lower
alliance
level
you're in.
guys, for the lower level guys working their way up. I think it is a meritocracy. If you are a good FC,
But if you're an
ping
upper level
fleets,
guy, why can't
if
you
you
be
run-
like a
if
fucking
you pull up
homeboy
fleets,
motherfucker?
and you take folks out and folks give you a chance and you do good and they have fun, they'll come back and then you'll get more people. And then all of a sudden, you're not just a second tier FC anymore. Then you're working your way up the ladder. And there's
That's
room
true.
to do that.
Yep.
Now,
And
now
then there's also
and that's
you,
what I-
Chris,
Empire
who've
building
been around for
level,
a bunch
like
of fucking years,
Mittani,
who
Vince,
don't actually have to
Lady
live
Scarlet
through that
level
shit
type stuff,
to
there's not as
recognize
much
what's
room. I
going
agree
on
with Sword in
in
that.
front of them.
Right, but you have to also realize that Vince, Lady, Mittani, all those, and Villy, even Villy, they fill a role that's not. I would almost venture to say that's not even so. Vince FCs, don't get me wrong, but like Vince and Villy may FC, but they fill a whole different role than strategic FCing goes. Like I would almost rather have 100 motherfuckers who are creating content for the Alliance than one dude screaming
Wait,
and,
hold on,
and winning
hold on,
fights.
Hold on, time out a second. Don't you actually have to question yourself when some guy like Vince is like, I'm just not willing to put my fucking 2 cents in until we're actually getting fucking strategic?
No, because Vince puts his 2 cents in all the time because it's his alliance.
Now he
The-
does, because he's just still trying to play. But like honestly, if that motherfucker thought this was a strategic fucking play, do you think he would actually like bank it out to a bunch of fucking nobodies?
Yes.
Yes, because that's the point of the game.
That's
if
how
you
the
have
game
one
works.
FC,
Okay, my
it's
bad,
called the
my
Black
bad.
Legion effect, right? If you have
Yep.
one FC who does everything,
hold on.
and that
I'm
guy
sorry.
quits.
I'm sorry, Vince was the Elo Legion of like all this
No,
shit.
he's not.
It's like
because
no.
we have an entire
He's-
team of dudes who can come back if
Okay,
Vince has
okay,
to go
okay,
out of
okay, okay.
town.
True.
Now that is true, but back in the start of the is a different age where there are more FCs now. But back in the day, it wasn't that. It's only just
There
become a
aren't
thing in the
more
last year and a
FCs
half.
now,
Eddie, wake up.
dude.
He's-
There's like dead FCs, and there's like 5 FCs that are gonna actually run a campaign. In any fucking campaign, it is the
I
same
didn't say
5
campaigns. I
guys.
said FC.
That's something that happens
When I
with
hear-
rap.
When I hold my hand up of 5
over time.
motherfucking guys that are gonna do that,
Yeah.
believe
There's
me,
plenty of FCs
believe
in
me,
NC.
even if
Actually,
somebody right now shouts me the fuck down, 5 fucking guys.
I'll shout you down.
I would say
I'm
that
not shouting,
probably
it's not at all.
Vince probably only runs about 15% of
Hold
the
it.
fleets in NC dot. Like, there's so many other
5
FCs that
guys!
run all the shit. Like, he's a big
Like a
FC in the
dirty
time zone, but he's
burger.
not there's so many FCs in NC dot, and that's just NC
And
dot.
actually,
PL
not
and all
even
the
like
other
a
groups have
dirty
their own
burger,
FCs.
just like a fucking burger that's like nobody else knew how to figure it out.
I mean,
Thank you
I
for the
agree with the
shirt,
Black
Ray.
Legion thing. Like, Black Legion is one of those rare things where you have this one guy that does everything, and if he's not running something, nothing happens. And when he does
Even,
run something,
even if you don't want
everyone's
to,
not
even if
that
you don't want to
rare.
pick on
It
Elo,
happens in
right?
multiple
well, I'm not
alliances.
picking on him. I'm just saying that
Well, no,
that's a
I just
reality
want to
of
give
the
you another
situation.
example.
By the way,
Did he
since
say jump
now
is the
you
same
bring
way?
up Elo,
Did
let
he
me
say
ask
jump
this question. But
evolves
is Elo
in-
back to back your ass up?
Right. So, that's not even what we're talking about, though.
No,
No, we're just talking
honestly,
about we're
if
just
you
talking
wanna
about
throw
alliances
Elo
that have
out
like
there,
one guy that
be
does
like-
everything.
No,
and
I'm
that's it.
talking about how
because honestly,
how
because
Elo is
honestly,
the selling point of
Elo
Black
is only
Legion.
there to back some motherfucker's ass up.
I want
And I
to.
don't mean like
I mean,
back
because
it up.
Black Legion had a couple of
Back it up
FCs,
now.
but they rarely like
About
when they went on
America,
fleets,
Packers.
you would get like a tenth of the people go out on those fleets. As like if Elo ran it, the whole alliance showed up. If some other dude ran it, there was like
Because
40
you know
people
why?
came.
Because Elo was a motherfucker.
I know.
It's because you built an alliance around one major content creator. So when that cut,
No,
yes,
they
very
built it
fucking
around
clearly
a
that's the case. Because
personality.
obviously
Black
there's no
Legion
Black
was-
Legion no more,
Black
Jerk.
Legion was 100% the Elo show.
Baga.
And I'm not ripping on Elo. I'm just saying Elo was a great content creator and people loved going on his fleets, but it was so built around him that when he wasn't running,
Nobody
if he wasn't going to run a
joined
fleet or he
Black
wasn't there or he went on vacation,
for-
nothing happened.
No
Nothing
one
happened.
joined-
No one joined Black Legion for anything else other than O200
No.
every night Elo night fleets. That's what they joined.
Basically.
And you
Exactly.
only had to own,
Yeah,
and you only had to
exactly.
own
For
3
sure,
ships, which
those
was a Munin,
fleets
a
fucking
Scimitar,
owned,
and a
didn't they?
Saber.
They were fun. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. It was fun as fuck flying with Elo.
It doesn't, but that's the point, though.
Nobody cared
Is
about
when-
fucking claiming
No,
sovereignty
but, like-
back then. They only cared about like, did we not fucking own at that time?
From a
because that's
strategic-
because and this
They were
only reinforces the
legitimately
point
the fucking
earlier we were talking about.
Zimbabweans
There's
who
no
fucking
reason
got
to
into
fight
the fucking
anymore.
fight.
There's
From
no reason to fight anymore because back then we had
That's
you could
my
go
point.
you could go shoot SBUs, you could go fucking reinforce passes. Oh, that dude
Can
has
you
an
remember that
R64 over
shit
there.
back in the
Let's
fucking
reinforce
day?
that shit.
So
Fucking
let's be
Elo
honest
in
here.
the fucking-
Let's be honest. You have to be very clear with this. There's no reason to troll or gank. You are not looking for like the fight.
But do you remember that one night? But do you remember that one night when Elo woke you up fucking late night and you're sitting there going, fuck yeah, why are you waking me up, Elo? And he's like, because I'm fucking Elo. And you're like, fuck it, I'll just get up for that one fucking strike.
The thing is, as well, though, like I don't think it even comes all the way down to like sovereign. There's no reason to fight, right? There's the economic side of it as well. Is that like if you go?
I thought we designated economics not being like equal to anything else right now.
Well, like, but here's the
It
thing,
has a
right?
massive hand in it.
Is that like if you go look at like PNF, Star isn't doing it in Delve anymore. So many people can't be bothered to hunt like supers, for example. Like, you know, I used to do it in Delve quite a lot, and nobody can be bothered because it's like you can go buy a brand new super in Goons. I think it's like last time I looked, it was like 8 bill for a brand new Nyx, right?
Can you
It cost me
imagine
more
that?
than
Because
But it
number
costs me
one,
more than
if
8
you're
bill
buying a
each
fucking
Rex.
super carrier, it's like totally shit.
So like it's actually not worth the effort to set up a gank, right? So it's like, all right, however you're going to do it, right? Whether you're just going to stalk them because they're an idiot moving through low sec, or you're going to blue scout them, or however it works in your particular flavor, is that the amount of time and effort and characters and getting all of the people's ducks in a row to go gank a super, it's not worth their time effort anymore.
By the way, since we just had a guy here who had a fucking Australian accent, I just want to throw this out there being like, can't we all fucking help out? Even not fucking Plex and shit like that.
Otto has a true
Just
Australian accent.
help a bunch of motherfuckers.
So what he was talking about is very credible though, because whenever we were talking about Black Ops or something like that a while back and content creators for that, I think Bob told me about all the really good super ganks. Remember back in 2013 and 14, whenever a super died, that was news. That was something that showed up at the time it was Kugu,
Right.
but like that was news. You couldn't just
Go
kill a
back
super and
further. 2013 wasn't. It was 2010, 2011. 2013, like every super's died all the time.
I mean, it's still not that much though. But I mean, it was news up until the point like it was still killing a super was worth something. Killing Caps, I remember if someone pinged Caps tackled, it was a huge deal whenever I was in Goons in 2011 and 10. But like nowadays, there's no credible impact for what you do unless you just create a full scale, all in deployment like we had to do for this. Like if we would have just posted on, NC forums like, hey, our target for the next couple months is going to be Deadco from Malapace, Rome dudes there. Like we wouldn't have had this conflict that we have
Dude,
now.
number one, Deadco back in the fucking or NC
So-
back in the fucking day wouldn't have actually targeted that limited kind of thing, right?
So I
So that
can't
is-
really
so
speak on
like-
old NC honestly
You can't
because it
say
was
that
really
for
a
true,
different
say that, Bunny.
organization.
You can't say that for true because Goons did it last year with the squad deployments, and the
Yeah,
squad
but we're
deployments
not-
worked very well. They sent
And
extra,
their
whenever there was a
squads,
need, they sent
like,
extra
Is
from.
that where NC is now though? They're like, are they squad?
They're on a proper deployment.
Are
They're
they
on a proper
squad
deployment.
level?
No.
No,
So
they're on
we
a
have the
proper
entire
deployment.
alliance deployed because NC doesn't have SIGs and squads like that. Goons is gigantic. It's what 50,000 people now. So that's
But it
an
was the point I
organization.
was trying to make, where you could actually have sent things from Malpace. It is actually possible if you design your way of doing it, and that's what Asher did with Goons.
An alliance of our size, though. You
Last
really believe?
year was a million fucking years ago.
Asher used all of his popularity to build like the biggest SIG in the Imperium and just did that for like 6 months.
Kendar did the same thing, and so did Faulty.
A million years
but
ago.
comparing Goons to NC is not really a fair comparison, considering we have.
I'm talking about the
Comparing
situation, not
last
the
year to
comparing the
this
sizes.
year is like fucking what?
It's
I don't want to let the fucking trout that I fucking catch be like, but what about them?
what?
The trout?
The
Yeah, I'm
trout,
confused.
man. The
I guess
trout.
the point I'm
Okay.
trying to.
The trout, that one fish that I'm trying to fucking catch.
I think
I-
that the game has moved away from having something to fight over, but also the game has moved to a sense it's better to ignore an enemy and burn themselves out that way. And it's always been that, but it's gotten more the case now, and it works
Not
both
about the
sides. of the game.
burnout.
It is about the
No,
burnout,
it's
though.
absolutely true. There's almost
Because right
no
now, what will
easy
end
way to
the
win.
northern conflict, if I'm just being 100% cynical and realistic, what will end the northern conflict, or because I don't think we have a good name for it yet, is burnout. It's going to be either one of us or ultimately all of us attacking, burning out completely and not wanting to do this shit anymore, or the line members being like, I don't want to really get in fleets no more, so they stop showing up. Or it's going to be Sort's group being like, I'm sick of showing up for these timers and I don't want to defend them anymore. It's not going to be a pitched battle over a Keepstar throwing doomsdays at each other, because that's not the meta we live in anymore.
The one thing we haven't actually talked about, I was interested to see what happens with Fraternity deploying, is what happens between XIX and Fraternity. That's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I have a really good
Because
VR
XX
from
is
that
just-
because I've been in Iraq for the last 2 weeks, and I got, as soon as I
Yeah,
got
you can't use that. You can't use that as a fucking. I'm gonna say
Shut up
it
and let the
now.
man finish. Shut up and let the man finish.
So whenever I actually got cell signal or internet to actually log into Discord, I went through and cleared all my notifications, but I got a really good, interesting fleet scan from an XIX fleet pushing against Slice, which is like 119 dudes, which nowadays isn't really a gigantic, or really is a sizable force, all things considered. So it all
In
depends on what.
Iraq or like in
No. In it's XIX fleet pushing into wherever Slice lives right now, which I think is either like the Spire or
Eve.
somewhere.
So
yeah,
in
in Eve.
Eve.
Yeah.
So therefore, when you began your entire fucking sentence of like, I was like
Shut
out
up,
there and
Dirk. Let the man finish.
So the point is I didn't have cell signal, so I for the last 2 weeks I was not able to track what was the goings and comings of fucking EVE Online. I'm sorry, but it was interesting, all things considered, because now XIX, what will happen is, will they continue pushing on the side that they are and harassing Slice and Triumvirate in whatever region of the drones they live in, or will they also displace up north and either fight against us? Like this, all things considered, that's something you have to look at whenever you think about those. That's an entire 2 alliances that now the northern, that the Pan Fam, that all of us can't really rely on, because
Well,
now they
that's
have
why-
to.
Yeah, I wonder if a fraternity can actually deploy, because their XIX is shooting their Fortizars in Innsmother and Cache continuously. So I'm interested to see how fraternity is going to pull this off, seeing as they haven't had the war since the war test. They've never deployed before, and they're going to have to fight over timers at home.
Yep. I'd be curious, because we had one fight where fraternity came up, and then ever since then, I don't think we've. Get me wrong, I've been gone for the last 2 weeks. I don't know for sure if they've been showing up consistently. So
No, they lied to come up last time by saying XIX was forming, and XIX had never had an op posted. So they lied to come up to shoot goons, and then they went back down and haven't been seen since until the reset on Monday.
Yeah, you would know more about that than I would. The next 2 months of this conflict is going to be very interesting, and whether or not the weight of numbers is going to push too hard and result. And the part of this that I'm the most curious about is, does this trigger the mass deployment from what is essentially all of the CFC alliances? Because they've already got SIGs and squads actively interfering or actively participating in conflict in this area. Does Fraternity or Winterco resetting you and attacking Branch, is that the tipping point where they're like, okay, this is a credible enough reason? Do we go in at this point?
I doubt it.
So the thing to understand is goons don't have the SIGs that they used to. They don't actually have any SIGs in the north. They have dreads, like I'm not gonna lie that, but they don't have any actual SIGs in the north. Or maybe, I guess maybe Canaros, not Canaros, is Kanan's fleet?
Kanan.
Maybe, I don't know.
Does
But
Kanan
they
still
haven't
play?
got any SIGs.
Yeah,
he does.
Kanan's
That's right.
pinged a couple times. It's one
I haven't
of the
seen
couple
Kanan
of
in a
fleets we
minute.
fought.
But right
So-
now, there's been no reason for us to call goons heavily to any timer, because why would we blue ball our own guys by bringing goons and heavily outnumbering you in Asia
Would
or,
you-
Asia or AU time zone? Like that would
Would
be
you
that
ever
would be
tell
really
them to stay
retarded.
home?
If they wanted to deploy? Fuck no. God no. I'd
Well, no,
encourage
not
it.
if they deploy. Like, just like, say they wanted to come up for a random time. They're like, hey, yo, Sword Dragon, I see you got a timer up here. I see NC and PL are forming, yada yada. We're gonna come up and play. Would you
In
ever
the
be like, yeah,
in the
don't, though?
dead center of China time
I-
zone. So one of your
I would-
timers.
I would be honest with them and say, look, if you come up, you'll most likely get a blue ball. And I've said that before. Like they've said, have you got any timers tonight? And I said, yeah, we've got this timer. They're like, oh, I'm around, because they have a lot of FCs, and their FCs are like, oh, we could come. And I said, well, we always welcome the support, but keep in mind, if you come, there's most likely going to be blue balls, because that's the reality. We are pretty evenly matched with you guys. We probably outnumber you maybe 1.5 to 1.
More than
in
that,
AU,
it's easy.
Asian. It depends. If you guys have Horde over, then it'll vary. It depends on our amount of hype and how we form and stuff like that.
Oh,
But if
Goons
Fraternity-
at UTZ is legit though.
It depends on
love
how
those
much of
guys.
our country is banning at the time.
Well, and yeah, like so for certain
Hashtag
days,
donate.
like NC
No
is very
donate.
useless. Is useless on a Friday night because a lot of their FCs are out drinking. Like I know that for
Or
a fact.
watching open guns.
Hold on.
Yeah,
No, it's-
Saturday,
they're out
morning.
drinking.
It's Saturday morning right now.
It is,
So, like,
because there's been plenty of times where I've been like, yeah, we were gonna form, but I've been at the bar like, what?
yeah. So like,
But were you at the bar or were you just here?
So the thing is,
This isn't
like,
AU, Dirk.
it will be interested to see
Not for
what
Americans.
happens.
Are we-
What happens?
Are we in
like,
AU right now?
No.
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 We're-
No, it's late US.
Yeah, so this
It's-
is, what is it, like, it's
Are we
10:17
rolling
Central.
up on your AU?
was like
Like,
two-
AU's in
AM,
like,
sorry.
PM.
West
AU's in like
Coast?
5 or 6 hours, I think.
It's 2 p.m. right
AU
now.
starts at like 3 hours.
what the
I
fuck
believe.
even is our fucking AU
Ah.
anymore? It's like
Not really.
when somebody sits there and
It's
says
6 o'clock.
EU,
Sword.
AU.
It's 5
It's like,
o'clock. in
what does that
Queensland,
even mean?
motherfucker.
Is
Yeah,
like-
Queensland's
Is
not
that
a real
like
statement.
is that like Brexit time?
Well, and also I was gonna say, how many time zones are in Australia? 2 or 3?
4?
3.
4.
Well, okay.
I know the main
Yes.
one's obviously
Uh-huh.
the East
What
East
about
Coast
those
is the
people
main
who
time
think
zone.
they
But,
live in England.
but I was
So
just wondering,
true-
like, what's
true
the
AU
time difference
time
between
zone,
like Perth and,
true-
and Sydney?
True AU time zone goes from New Zealand across to Perth, but Perth is on the same time zone as China, so technically they aren't Chinese time zone.
Right. Okay.
So
Well,
now
obviously,
we have a whole bunch of motherfuckers.
I was just being like, what's the time? Like for the Perth
Just-
time to
let's just
Sydney
call
time,
them
is it like 2 or
plugged
3 hour
in.
difference or 4?
Yeah, so
3.
the true
Three.
the true AU time zone in this game doesn't actually exist anymore. There are not that many Australians left in playing the
Yeah.
game in 0.0
I
Alliance.
mean,
There's
like,
12
it
or
has been-
13 of them.
I just
It
assumed
has
like
been taken over by Asia. That's
mean,
like all of our
yeah.
timers are not time for AU time zone. They're time for Asian time zone.
no, he makes
Not
a good point.
them.
I was just thinking, like, I've always thought of AU time zones obviously like, you know, the population centers, like it's like New Queensland,
It's
right?
East
Or-
Coast and West Coast.
Yeah,
It's
East Coast
Queensland.
and
It's East
so
Coast
you
and
get like
West Coast.
what Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane and stuff like those. That's all like the main AU time zone, I would assume. But like you said, now that
Yes.
there's a lot more Asian
Even
players
in the
coming in,
old
that's
days,
kind of taken over.
Even
as more
in the
of a-
fucking old days, it's like, when do these motherfuckers wake up?
But most of the time, like, so for example, in Australians, most alliances that have Australians in them, I don't see them forming more than, at the most, 30 or 40 Australians. Like, it's I mean, Test probably has, with Tickle gone, Tickle probably can get the most Australians now. I would say they could cap at 50 if they were lucky.
No,
But
they
these
ain't
days I
gonna
see
do
only
it.
maybe
And
30.
then what? And then
But, like,
what?
Tickle can pull
most-
like 30. Legacy can pull 200 plus, and I have done so.
I'm talking actually Australians. Like, I'm talking actual Australians.
I'm not
There
that
are
racist.
not
I
that
don't
many.
care.
Like, there
Well,
are not
this-
many Australians.
We're not.
so it's,
We're not
it's-
just trying to like fucking front up white Australians, like whatever. Like, and then what?
So AUTZ was my primary time
Then
zone.
did we
for
get
like a
into
year.
Russian time zone
Did I
or
count
like
as an
Asian time
AUTZ
zone?
since I'm American?
Do you sexually
you-
identify as a kangaroo?
I mean,
What?
sometimes. Kangaroos
the
are
game
kind of
has
dope.
moved. The game has moved more for Asian, like into Asian time zone with regards to Australian time zone. The Australian time zone can be considered from 0700 to about like, I guess 0100 if you really want to push it. But nowadays, most AU has shifted towards Asian, which is around about 10 Eve time to 1500.
Which is a case that a lot of people fighting wars in the past haven't really had to deal with. So after AU was usually predominantly Russian time zone, and you had to either had your own Russians or their Russians would sweep you. But now you have an entire time zone between, after AU ends to when the bulk of Russia begins.
Except for where does Pine Gap happen? And the rest
Center
of
of
you
Australia.
believe.
I would have thought that Russian
Where
time
is
zone
Pine
was just
Gap?
like later EU.
Where is Pine Gap?
If you're thinking like
No,
Moscow,
it's
St.
early
Petersburg.
EU. It's so for example,
Where
for me,
is Pine Gap?
Central Australia, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it would be my bad. Earlier.
And how
Right,
does
yeah.
that actually work into how fucking EVE Online?
You are a tool.
Don't.
Oh, what are you saying?
I said you are a tool. If you think about Pine Gap,
But
bring out
don't
the
you
nukes,
know
try
what
to bring
Pine
out the
Gap
nukes.
meant?
Yes, it's trying to bring out the nukes in Australia. Isn't that where the nukes are, Otto? I can't remember.
Hunt, don't ask another Australian. Tell me. Tell
I don't
me how
fucking
it
know.
all
I've only
happened.
been back home for 3 years.
Australia has nukes in it?
American.
Australia doesn't have fucking
Oh
nukes.
no.
But Pine Gap is exactly where they're fucking talking about right now.
What?
No, they're not. We're talking about from basically when
But what?
Beijing.
But what? The middle of fucking Australia, and
Here's
how
what
the
I'd like to
United
know.
States
Hey,
didn't
Drayden.
have their fucking zone there.
What time is it?
I
In
know we were over.
Australia right
Hold
now,
on.
in
Yeah, I
the
know we were over
correct
time, but
part
we
of
haven't.
Australia, it is 3:23 p.m.
Yeah, we're over time.
And
I was letting it
how
continue because
does
it was a good
fucking
conversation.
Pine
going on, so.
Gap work into this?
The
So
conversation was
to add something into your point, Drayden, one thing that's very interesting and the reason why Deadco is so strong in Asian time zone is we have Japanese, Chinese, and Australians, but our Russians are not traditional Russians. Half of them are, but about 70% of them are Siberians.
Oh,
which
so like
is
Eastern
the
Russia,
same
yeah.
time zone. Yeah, so the same time zone as China. And Hanzo, our campaign commander, is Siberian.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
yeah.
that's how we're able to line all of the time zones up at the same time. If we didn't have that, we would be split across the 3 time zones as Bunny brought up.
I was
So that's
wondering, like,
that's the
okay.
thing you really got to look at nowadays whenever it comes to actually dedicating a huge and not even whatever you would call this, an effort, an invasion of content deployment, whatever, is now that's an entire group of an entire time zone that in the past we never had to consider, right? Because back in the day, there's nobody who played extensively from the end of AU to the beginning of EU. That was, I mean, the Russians did, okay, so I'll say
There were
the end of
Chinese, but
AU
there
to
weren't
beginning
that
of RU.
Yeah, and there weren't that many. It was only with Serenity that when Serenity started going down, did a lot of them move over. I mean, Kaladarius, which is the Japanese alliance, they've been around for a long time, but they never had a huge number either. It's only when
Exactly.
Serenity started going downhill that they started merging over. And Wind Spirits put in a big push for more Chinese to move over, and then obviously each alliance came over as Serenity went downhill, and when then Serenity was closed, the rest came over.
So now you have all this entire Chinese following, and a lot of the alliances are trying to tap into that because that'll be what was considered AU. Your if you had a strong AU showing and the other guy didn't, that was a safe time zone for you. But now it's the Asia time zone from the beginning of what will probably soon be the Korean time
I
zone
would say,
to
yeah,
the
there's
end
gonna be a lot
of
of Koreans coming in. That's
end
in
of
the same
China.
time zone.
They need about a year and a half to catch up.
I think what you're going to find as well is that a lot of people are putting in a lot of effort with like the Asian time zones. Much in a similar way that like post Brave Newbies, Hero 1.0 type thing, where everyone, that's when the Horde and the Karma Fleet and the Dreadits and the Brand New Bros and all of those things came up. He's getting, they weaponized the newbie, right? And then now it's going to be like weaponizing like this new time zone, and the people who can do it the best will
and it's
become very scary.
I mean, it's kind of cool seeing all these other groups, because I mean, like Deadco's got their group of it coming in, but then also, I mean, we got.
They know what Pine Gap is. These fucking Australians know it.
What?
Deadco's Asian time zone, or Deadco's Asian / Australian time zone, is actually the biggest in the game.
Right.
Secondly,
yeah,
they are the fucking
fraternity.
people who know what was happening out
I know
there.
that,
I saw Pine Gap.
I know that we blew it up with Vinny Vici, who is mostly a
I
Chinese
fucking
group.
love those guys.
Yeah,
oh my god!
So it's
I
like,
can
but
never say enough good things about. I call him. What's the Lone Ranger term?
Tonto?
Kimosabe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Ranger Regiment.
I was like, Tonto.
Whoa, Ranger Regiment. Is that what you're saying?
But
they're
how
like
are you
some
guys gonna
scary
make,
ass fucking term.
Like, honest to God, how are you guys gonna make BVV and fraternity work together?
Honestly, I think it's just a common goal thing. To be honest, I don't know, because it hasn't really had to happen extensively. When the reset happened, like a day or two ago.
Well, so it hasn't happened until Monday. It's happening on Monday. So VVV and VV. So Norris's like decree to the Chinese community was that he intends to merge all Chinese into fraternity, and he will kill the rest. That's his decree.
Hold on.
And
What does that even mean? I'll kill the rest.
So Mango and VVV, who are blue, are obviously against that. So Mango's one goal in life.
I'm
is
not gonna
to
lie.
kill
I'm
fraternity.
also against killing all the rest, like whatever the rest are.
And so it's interesting to see how that works, because VVV like literally hates Norris. That's why they split apart.
So I don't think it would ever be in a position where Norris could be the shot caller for the Asian time zone whenever it comes to whatever this is, right? So like we had the fight, the system escapes me, Redline might be able to remember, where we had VVV gate into you guys in the Dominixes, and we jumped in after them.
That was SK?
Yeah, SK. So that was an instance where fraternity fought on our side in Munins, we fought in Eagles, and then VVV brought dummies. So that was an instance where everybody worked together, seemingly copacetically.
The SKC, I was like, hang on a second.
Yeah,
There's been many times the dummies have
it's
jumped
like
in.
RY, I think. I fucking
Yeah,
love
no,
those
it
guys.
was-
That man, those two, Kimosabe and fucking Sal, that reminds me of the good old times in Eve, where it's like, I'm about to gate this entire battleship fleet into hostile guns, and it's like, all right, dude, do that, and we'll be right behind you.
Like true Chinese and true like Asians are some of the most loyal, but some of also the most blood hungry.
I
like,
fucking
in the
love
game.
them to death. I
They're
really
like the
hope,
old school Russians.
I really hope there's a time in the future.
You had like 300 Munins in our staging system, and VVV is just out there in Thrashers, just like warping back and forth to a gate, killing small shit.
Yeah.
We're just watching from Fortizar, just like
Most of the time VVV and Ranger just duke it out together, and most of us keep out of it unless one side gets involved, and then we ping.
But like,
that's how it
seriously,
happens.
bro,
I don't think
when you actually talk about
that-
the fucking Russians, you were actually back there way late talking about that time.
Well, it was. I'm not really sure what you're talking
know what
about,
we're talking
actually.
I don't think that
Yeah, I don't know.
VVV
Him,
and Frat
Short
actually have
Dragon.
to work together.
Short
though.
Dragon was actually back before all you people were even fucking like, whatever underpants your fucking like cloud. Short was there.
I have to bail. Again, I have to go sit this exam.
Hold on,
It is
Short.
Good luck, Otto.
Excuse me. I
see
will
Otto.
talk to you.
Otto,
later.
love you, motherfucker. Who told me you were only gonna be here for 20 minutes. But seriously, you were there like way longer than these like young motherfuckers.
He's there
And,
with
me,
the
and me
demo.
too. And me too. Like, honestly, and the reason I bring it up is because it's like, fuck. I was there during a fucking younger time and all this, and like people told me shit.
I remember. I
Of
very
a fucking
clearly
young
remember.
time in Eve when Russians
Ruled the earth.
I mean,
Right, Bunny.
I remember very clearly back in the day. Like it was the I was there on grid and B-R trying to fucking kill your stupid ass avatar. Remember that? After
Do
I'd
you
already been
remember,
defanged
though?
for like 2 hours, sitting there like a fucking moron. Remember
There's
that?
like a million of us there trying to kill his fucking in BTAG-R.
The
I mean,
game. The thing is that a lot of the new people that come into the game, you always hear about how they wish of the good old days, and it's like it's just 2 years ago.
Yeah, they were.
And
yeah,
at this
exactly.
point,
I
at
wish.
this point,
No,
I've been
and
here
that-
since the
that was the
start,
fucking
and
joke.
I've seen
I feel like
I've
I
seen
made
all
that
of the
joke
different
2 minutes ago.
phases. I've seen all
You
of the
know-
different phases of the game, and as things change, a lot of things also stay the same. And that's one thing that you find these days, and as Bunny brought up before, the missing content of like say R64 posses, like there's nothing like that anymore. So the
He's
game
like
has literally
12
become-
years old. Do you even think
I've
he
been playing
knows
this-
what an R64 pause
I've been
means?
playing this game since 2006, Dirk.
That's insane. To
Oh
me.
my god, just fucking stop it. Like, honestly, right now, I'm gonna like get you to fight out there with fucking Alpha Star Pilot.
I've been playing this game since 2006.
Damn.
I fought in the Great War. I fought in B-R.
Which
I
Great War
invaded
though?
the-
Did
Okay,
fucking
hang
not.
on.
Because you
Which
know
Great
what?
War?
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Just say
Were
it.
you like 8 years old when the fucking Great War fucking happened?
Hang on. Which Great War are we talking about? Because any
I
of the
think
wars
the
could
Bob
be considered
Goon
great.
Wars.
The Bob Gun one.
Yeah,
That's-
isn't it the?
I mean, which one?
And
There was
look,
multiple.
I'm not even trying to front
The-
on the
the-
fucking
the
Great
first
War.
I joined-
But like honestly,
So I
if a
joined
motherfucker
the
12
coalition-
years under me, like you are so young. Like honestly, if you what did you come out of your mom's womb and fight in the Great
You
War?
know that people could.
I joined whenever I was
You
in
know
middle
this is a
school
video
because I
game,
played Tribes
Wait,
2.
I
and there's-
know, but it is still a video game that is literally in time. We still have time moving.
Right.
Of
You don't
course,
have to
That's
be
something
20.
that
You don't have to be
is-
20 to
I will
start
see
eating.
started playing it.
All right,
You know,
Brisk,
fuck
one-
you, Brisk. Honestly,
It's
right
11:30.
now, honestly, right
One
now,
thing
Brisk,
to-
if you're
one thing
willing to
to-
fucking move the fuck off, fuck you. But still,
One thing that is
Brisk,
interesting about
before
the
you
game
leave.
is generally that the game finds a way. That's always the way that I would say
What?
in,
It's
in the
not
history
life.
of the.
It is
No,
though.
Brisk left.
Because nobody wants to let this
God.
game. No one wants to sit back and let this game just fucking eat shit and die. So like all of us
exactly.
hate Sob,
I totally
but we're not
grant
going to
you
stop
that.
doing
But
Sob
like,
warfare.
But like, you can't pretend like at one point you were 18 and then 12.
All right. Well, Brisk
'Cause
did take off. The cameras are all fucked up. Should we swap over to the other channel and just go after Dark? at this
No, we
point?
shouldn't. We should always be just who the fuck we are.
I agree.
By the way, where are
Life
we?
shift will understand.
I mean,
The
like
point
the
I was trying to
conversations
make-
would be
Wait,
great. That's
I
how
like
long have
say
you
that
guys
out
all
loud.
played
Where
Eve?
are we? Where the fuck are we?
Like,
I-
honestly,
I started in 2012, early 2012. So what is
Okay,
it?
so like 8 years?
This is I'm
Missed
coming
a
up on
good
8
war.
years in about a month. So
what about you?
The best
Abby?
war.
I'm not gonna freaking lie. If this guy that looks like he could be like actually dating McGurk Jr. actually sits there and says, "But I was
Look,
there
that
during the
guy
fucking Great
that
War,"
you're talking
it's like
about
fuck that shit,
the
motherfucker.
cutest man I've
You
ever
weren't
seen.
like
Would
you
you-
pretend like
hold
you
on,
know
first
what a
off.
Would you actually be
pretend
okay
like
with
you
me
know
dating
what a
your daughter?
pause
Is that
looked like?
is that
Fuck
okay?
Yeah,
this, don't
let's
give me
take
that
a
I think that
fucking
was,
shit.
Let's take a
Dude,
second.
Blazing,
was
go
him
for
giving
it,
you his
man.
blessing.
Blazing, go for it. That's as close to the blessings you're
No,
ever gonna get.
hold on. I would give the blessing out there like a motherfucker.
Hold on.
But don't tell me what you know what a pause looks like.
Blazing, like I know him well enough. Let me just give you some advice. Bring him a bottle of Fireball, and you'll be good. You're locked in. You're part of the
He's
family
like
at
I'm
that
not
point.
even
old-
playing
those old-
that
those old
fucking
goat
game.
herders in
Even though
arranged
right
marriage,
now I
just
have a
bring
little
him.
midget bottle of
It's an
Fireball.
arranged
It's like
marriage.
it's like seriously. It's like come on. It's like don't
Bring me
play
some-
me
bring me
like a
some vodka.
motherfucker.
So
If you
my
bring
God,
him that
oh my
size
God.
of a
I have
bottle
a
of
question
Fireball,
for you.
you're gonna be
Don't
kicked out of the
play
house.
me like a motherfucker. You can sit
So
there
Bring
and
a
play
fifth.
I have a question
Adderall
for you.
or fucking like
Dirk,
Risk.
Dirk,
It's
Dirk,
like
Dirk.
it's like, but I was there then, and I'm gonna tell you right now, by math, I'm sitting there calculating. You weren't there.
I was
But
there.
does
Go
that
ahead.
You
matter?
weren't. What were you,
Dirk?
like 8 years
Dirk.
old?
I was
So
14.
my question for you, Dirk. This is a serious question, by the way.
Go
So
ahead,
you
go.
played Eve forever, right?
No, not for
Wouldn't it-
fucking
okay,
ever.
listen,
Not by a
it's-
long
it's-
shot.
It's not. I didn't mean forever. Like you've been playing ever since the light first came into
Do
being.
you want?
No,
But I mean, like,
I
a
mean,
long
even,
time,
like
right?
between when like
so
Eve
so
fucking like
you're an Eve
first happened.
veteran, right?
I am way more of a fucking veteran than some guy
Drayden,
like
why is Manic
fronting
Velocity
his
got longer?
fucking nipples up, being like, "What?"
Sure, okay.
I
So you're
changed the
way
cams.
more
I
of
just gotta
a
change the names
veteran.
now. So
But does that make a difference in like reality as far as like can he not move in and accomplish the same things that you could?
No, he can't.
Why?
Not back in fucking time. He
Well,
can't.
no, not
He
No,
can do
that's
it in
not
the
true at all.
future.
I'm with Redline
But-
on this. Like at any moment, anyone can set their destiny for Eve and become
No,
a part of the history.
Nobody
at
can
any
set
point, yeah,
their
at any point.
destiny for the past.
So like
Killer Bee is a perfect
Brisk-
example. Like he
Killer
came
Bee
in out of
could not
I'm not
right
saying
now-
I was a notable
Killer Bee
figure
could
in
not
the
right
Great
now
War.
sit there and
I'm
set
just
his
saying I sit
destiny
around
for
in the lag
sucking a
in the
dick
garbage
back when
and pressed
fucking
F1
Matani made it
sometimes.
happen.
Okay, so Bunny has at any moment tomorrow something could happen. Bunny is around,
Yes.
and he
yes,
he
anytime
reacts, and he
tomorrow.
could go down in folklore as someone from the history of the game.
No question. No
It
question.
is the same. He could lead a campaign tomorrow. He could be the one that
He
kills
could sit there
Deadco.
and smack Lady Scarlet right in the face and make sure that
She
the
would
end of
knock
the
him
fucking
out.
Matani
I
went
don't
down.
know about all that.
Absolutely. And he could be a fucking hero for it.
no, I don't
don't
think.
know.
But he
No.
can't sit there and go back.
Have you ever met?
like
You've
okay,
met
so
Lady
let's-
Scarlet.
before
She's
this
actually
and
really
sit
nice
there
in
and go,
person.
Oh,
Let's-
that
let's-
shit happened back then, and I
let's
also
set the
smacked
tone
it
here
around.
that violence in out of the game and any kind of connotations to it should not be considered
All
anything
of
more
the
than bad.
under conversations
Right,
never
right,
fucking meant
obviously,
to
but
happen.
I'm like,
But,
obviously,
he couldn't have
let's start
smacked
there,
her around back then and been like, all this shit would
No,
have happened.
I mean,
bam, this is how good
You don't,
it could
you don't
be.
smack anyone around, but like, they
she's fantastic.
But to give you
It's got nothing to do with Lady Scarlet. It's got honestly to be, were you motherfucker there? Honestly,
But did you
during
have-
that
did you
fucking
have to?
no,
time.
okay, so to add to Redline's
Let me
point,
throw my
there
fucking
is-
shit over there and bam, slam
there
dunk
is-
it right into my fucking like.
There is anybody
Whatever.
that could come in tomorrow and have as much positive / negative notoriety in this game as me. Anybody. Like I have been around forever. I've
That's
been
a
throughout all the
fucking
wars.
lie. It's like
No,
you
it's
know
not.
I
It's
love
true.
you.
It's
No, it's not
You know I love
because
you.
Eve
It's not.
time.
I
Eve-
legitimately
Eve-
love you. But right now,
Because
if
that-
you were
because
willing
that-
to pull up, if you were willing to sit there and say the same thing as this motherfucker all of a sudden at once,
Because within
I would
6 months I
question
would be
your ass
like
too.
within 3 months if I finish this game, like when I went to prison, for example, perfect example, when
Hold
I
on,
came out,
if you
when I-
said you went
Shut
to
up and
prison,
let me finish
that
my
would
point.
mean Graph Token would sit there and go,
When I came
motherfucker,
out-
please, I'm a Graph Token.
When I came out 3 months later, I had been replaced in an essence of there were
By
plenty
Graph
of people.
Token.
There were plenty of fights. There were plenty of campaigns. There were plenty of things that notoriety changed, and I was completely forgotten. Not completely, but there was. It is the game moves so fast, and at every moment there are more people joining. There are more alliances. There are more things coming along, and
And
people
then
can
there's
create
Graph
the notoriety at
Token
any
sitting there
time.
going, wait a second, what prison were you in? Were you even in my prison?
That's
and like
fucking
a bunch
stupid
of
to talk
shit
about.
happened and like
the
whatever.
reality is that no, but like unless you're a veteran, you probably won't even know some of the biggest names, like Twid, who Otto
do
brought up during
people
his
even
his
know that
conversation.
Graph Token was in prison?
I've never heard of Twit.
I'm not gonna fucking lie. I'm like
so
right
Twid-
now when I say that, it's like a bunch of people
So-
out there. They're like, "Who the fuck is Graph Token?"
Twid is one of the most famous FCs from his era. The reality
Yes!
is that nobody, maybe 20% of the player base, probably only 10% of the player base now, even has
No.
any idea who he is.
No,
No, Dirk,
That
I've
is-
never heard of Twit. Never heard of him.
Like and so like and everybody, the game keeps going, the game keeps moving on. The only reason I'm still known is because I'm still playing it. That's the only reason. Otherwise,
you
I am
cannot
just another
throw
page.
Twit's fucking name out there and be like, "What? Now everybody else has
Okay,
to know fucking
another one.
Twitch
No, but
names.
here's the thing.
Super Twinkie. Super Twinkies another one. I mean,
Sesfonquala is the other one.
And now you're
Makalu.
getting
Nobody
more
knows
into
who
the
Makalu
future.
was.
Where
Makalu-
other
Nobody
people
knows.
know what the
Craziest thing,
future
you're
means.
talking about people that I
Quit
have no idea who any of them
fucking
are.
laying out
Of
what
all
the
these
future
people-
names are.
Of all these people you just mentioned, Makalu's the only one I've heard of, but that was
Evil
because he
Thug.
played for long enough that
Fuck
he
Makalu!
played long
So-
enough into
Because
the
the
time
only
where he was
thing
still
that
playing.
matters is what
He was
fucking
playing when I was
he
playing.
made a song about.
But again, Evil Thug. You're talking about Red Dodger. You're talking about Nink. You talk about Mactep.
No,
Even
except
Mactep.
Mac-
is
Except
aligned
for-
only-
except for
So no,
that
no, no,
time
no,
when
Riders.
like
Even Mactep,
She
whose
made a
alliance
song about
finally
her.
like shut, who Mactep's alliance, who finally only shut last year. There are
Sarah,
people who
is
won't
that
even know
Rain?
who Mactep was.
did
Yeah.
Rain
And
get
Mactep was
totally
like-
red hot with a fucking hair?
You know what's
But, like,
crazy though
they're-
is we're
ahead.
on the very verge, and it's going to be a little bit
We're
nuts
gonna
for all of us.
verge.
We're on the very
By the
edge
way,
of
by the way,
Mr. V
we're
being
moving
falling
over
into
the
that
other
category,
channel.
though.
Exactly, exactly. I
We're
mean, we
moving
are
over
about
the
to
other
step
channel.
into
We
a-
got a verge.
We
We are
probably
about-
should swap over just
Probably
to.
should have done that 40 minutes ago.
Swap the fuck over,
Well,
Drayden.
I did keep
We're
it going
gonna
for.
we're gonna fucking verge. It's
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna
look,
swap over. The first 20
she
minutes
needs to
after
be
time
like,
I kept because
"Am
we had
I
a good
not
conversation.
Rain? Am
Hold
I
on,
not
Dirk.
Rain?
Dirk, stop. The first 20 minutes over time I kept going because we had a really good conversation. I didn't want to cut it off because it was nice and I wanted to let that go. But now that we're done with that, we are gonna swap
Dude,
over.
do we even have another channel?
Yeah.
There's one out
Yes,
there
we
somewhere,
do.
yeah. But
Oh, and I guess Brisk left.
yeah, well, yeah, Brisk left a while ago. So
Brisk taught me a new word. Meritocracy. I didn't know what that fucking
I've
meant.
heard-
Meritocracy is something you all should know. Pull yourselves up from the bootstrap.
No, dude, I'm in the dirt, Dirk. You told me I
Pull
had to be here,
yourselves.
so here I am.
Grab your fucking boots and pull yourselves up from the bootstrap.
all right, we're out later, bitches. I'm gonna do a shot for the road, and then we'll swap over to the other channel. I already have the
No
display
shit,
set
Drayden.
up, so it
honestly,
should
right now
come up
you're
right away.
fucking
So.
rolling super shit on me. I don't even know where you're going, but like whatever, it's whatever.
All right,
Wherever Drayden's going, it's like fuck that shit. Let's
we're
roll.
gonna go to my channel for the after show.